So I suppose the real up. Still nothing. So I suppose the real up. Test, test. Still nothing. Oh, I hear me. No, it doesn't seem like it. I'm gonna turn my sound off for a couple minutes and let the loop end. Oh, I can hear you in Zoom, but it wasn't. No, it doesn't seem like it. I'm gonna turn my sound off for a couple minutes and let the loop end.
Oh, is that why? Oh, it's because
I can hear you in Zoom, but it wasn't.
Hold on. Can you hear me now?
Oh, I can hear you in Zoom, but it wasn't. Turn my sound off for a couple minutes and let the. No, it doesn't seem like it. I'm gonna turn my sound off for a couple minutes and let the loop end.
Oh, is that why? Oh, it's because I can hear
There
you.
we go. Now we can hear you.
Oh, is that why? Oh, it's because
I can hear you in Zoom, but it wasn't.
Hold on. Can you hear me now?
Oh, I can hear you in Zoom. Yes, but it wasn't. I believe so.
I wonder if that's why it does that echoey thing, because that's too high. Why did that do that? That's very strange. Okay, I'll just go over to my Zoom meeting.
I believe so.
I wonder if that's why it does that echoey thing, because that's too high.
Seems good now.
It does. Yeah, I wonder if that's why. I wonder if it's because that was too high. That's why. Thing to experiment with. Let's just hold on. Just make sure it catches up.
I believe so.
Okay. Well, that appears to be good. It's a good thing we checked. That would have sucked.
That would have sucked a lot.
That would have sucked a great
I would have
deal.
been quite upset.
Okay.
I would have been mad at me, but more importantly, I would have been disappointed
That's
in
why
you.
we do sound checks, people.
And as we all know, Justin, being disappointed in someone is worse than being mad at them.
Yes.
Three,
In
2,
5,
1,
4,
go.
3, 2.
This episode is brought to you
Wait,
by the
what
Spur
are
of
you
the
doing?
Moment.
What are you doing? Stop. In 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. This podcast is brought to you by the Arte Media Pantheon. Please head to artemedia.org to see all kinds of podcasts from our great friends. And if you'd like to start your own podcast, they can provide you with the tools and resources to do so there. So please head to artemedia.org. That's ARETE media.org. Oh my God, Jordan. There's no echo. I think I might have figured out the problem. Welcome to the Spur of the Moment podcast, everybody. I nailed it. I nailed it on the first go because I wasn't distracted. It's great. I'm Justin. I'm Justin Spurr. I'm the host. I'm joined as always by 3 scoops of differing flavors of ice cream of your choosing. It's the incomparable Jordan, everybody. He's also here. That wasn't the correct. It's the incomparable Jordan, everybody. He's also here.
I'm also here.
He's also here.
Be greeted.
We have all been greeted. And on today's show, we're doing a week late review of Toy Story 5. You know, when everyone's out there seeing Toy Story, seeing Supergirl? No. We're doing a week late review of Toy Story 5. Just for you. And then the news, where we got trailers. We got Forgotten Island. They're making a Donkey movie. Lilo and Stitch thing. There's other stuff. There's other news. There's a bunch of news. Tons of news. And then, after that, we're talking about musicians. And movies about musicians. Not necessarily musicals, although some of them will be musicals. They're not all necessarily musicals. But they all have music in them. Because they're about people who play music. But first, I wanted to mention. because I always forget to mention this at the top of the show, and then I remember it at the end of the show, and by that point it's too late. They always say your thing off by mentioning, hey folks, we are 10 people away from hitting 500, and when we hit 500, me and Jordan will do a shot of ginger, a ginger shot. I hear it tastes gross. It's going to be unpleasant, but we will do that for you. And if you help us hit our 3,000 watch time, we will, I will eat a habanero pepper. Once we are able to monetize, that will be our first channel membership goal. Will be, I will eat a habanero pepper for you, the audience.
I mean, we also have your birthday gift.
That's in the future. Don't even worry about that. They don't need to know about that. They don't need to know about that yet. It's not time for that yet.
I mean, I think it is because the sauce will go bad before your goal.
It's not time for that yet. Anyway,
we're gonna have to discuss this off stream.
Anyway, it may be the thing maybe the thing Jordan does when we hit our monetization goal. The point is, eating spicy shit is now the first monetization goal. It's gonna happen soon. That's your goal. But first,
you've got a friend in me.
First, we got a review of Toy Story 5 for y'all. And Jordan,
you've got a friend in me.
Before you jump in with your thoughts and your feelings, I'd just like to bring the audience up to speed, uninterrupted, if you will, about our feelings on this movie going into it. So, just for those of you all who are new, who haven't been here since the beginning, we have been covering this movie since it was first announced. That's how long we've been doing this. And we were cynical as shit going into it. Even on the way to the theater, Jordan was like, "Are you ready to see the worst Toy Story movie?" The echo is now back. I want to see if maybe hold on. I want to try something, Jordan. I want to try something. Turn that down a bit. Is that better?
You don't echo for me.
We'll test it. It seems to be better. Nope, it's back. I don't know how to fix it. Anyway, train of thought. Right. Going into this, we thought it was going to be bad, is the point. We thought for sure it would be bad. And,
or Pixar bad, anyway.
Yeah. We were like, there's no way that this isn't going to be the worst Toy Story movie. And so, Jordan, do you wish to tell the people what going... So that was our feelings and our thoughts going into this. Utter cynicism. Jordan, how did you feel about Toy Story 5?
So... Okay. I do want to preface this with it could be because the bar was so low that it could only like a step over it. But I thought it did. I thought it was okay. So if you go into this movie expecting this to be more of the original, where it's like the Buzz and Woody show, you're going to be disappointed because it's not that.
It's not that.
If you go into this movie being like, okay, this is like the continuation of the Jesse Bonnie arc.
Yeah.
Then I think you're gonna get more out of it.
But
I
think it's so much deeper because okay. I mean, I buried the lead.
That's me. I'm reducting it, Justin, for the audience.
Okay.
Reducing it, reductioning it,
making it easier. Bury the lead. I love this movie. I thought this movie was brilliant. I thought this movie was really good. I thought that this movie was
cute.
Better,
it was really cute.
Better than it has any right to be. I turned to Jordan as it was done. I said, it is cavernously better. Cavernously, is that the right word? Like a valley, like a canyon.
Leaps and bounds.
Leaps and bounds better than the previous one. Like by a substantial canyon. It is truly quite remarkable how much of a better movie
for
this
me
is.
That has everything to do with the fact that the fourth one had an identity issue. This one doesn't have an identity issue. This one has a clear identity.
Well, I said to Jordan, every Toy Story movie is a reflection of getting older and growing up, right? The first one is they're all a reflection of getting older and growing up, and they're all a reflection of Andy's psyche, leading up to the third one, which is about letting go, moving on, accepting
Andy and Woody,
and passing to the next generation. The fourth one just kind of tells the same story that the third one told, so it doesn't really do anything different. It didn't have anything to say. This has so much to say. I've seen so many reviews that say that this is an important movie to watch, and I completely agree. I think this is an important movie to watch if you're a young parent navigating social media. I enjoyed. We're gonna spoil this. We're gonna jump around. There's no way to avoid it. So there is stuff to spoil. We're gonna spoil it. It's a great movie. Take your kids. Okay, there. That's the non-spoiler free version. That's all you're getting. But there's I appreciated that everyone has this all or nothing mentality when it comes to technology and AI and all that stuff. And I enjoyed how this subverted that. This doesn't go in the direction of the tablet is just bad. This doesn't go in the direction of tech is just bad. It goes in the direction of you need to talk to your kids and communicate with them. And it's just a tool. It's just a thing like any other thing. And it's about talking to your kids. And there's a scene later in this after I think they've talked about this publicly, so I don't think it's a huge spoiler. But a major component of this movie is Bonnie gets cyberbullied. And there's an important conversation between her and the mother that was real. It felt real. It felt like a real, authentic moment. And that teaching parents that that's the conversation they need to have with their kids, rather than this. And I think it's so important right now with this draconic nations, all these nations trying to blanketly ban social media amongst the youth. It ultimately is not working in Australia. The kids are getting at it anyway. But I think in a world where those kind of draconic bills exist, I think this movie needs to teach the important lesson that the thing itself is not bad. It's how you use it that's good or bad. And I think that is an important lesson to learn. And I think that is a lesson that can be learned from this.
So, for me, when it comes
Part one
to
of why I love this movie, there's more. I just want to let Jordan talk.
for me, when it comes to Pixar, Disney, those kind of movies, even DreamWorks, kids movies in general, we've said this before, and I believe that this is still true. There's two kinds of kids movies. There's the Minions,
Yes.
which is just dumb, stupid. You put it on, and it really doesn't.
Right, it's harmless, but it's just
harmless,
there to have
but
fun.
it's not
Yeah,
there.
exactly.
Yeah, it's not there to teach you a lesson.
I
think no, you had your turn.
I was just gonna add to what you're saying, like the Minions decorate, or there's a narrative device within the trailers that involve the Minions that's really stupid, and that's funny and harmless. So I'm like, you're right. There are the Minions. There's the Minion side, and then there's the continue.
Yeah, and so I also think that when it comes to kids movies, there are certain ones. I don't know how to articulate this, that transcend what they are.
Yeah.
And sure. I think this is one, and as soon as I watched this movie, and as soon as I saw how Bonnie's
the Inside Out one.
There's a reason why that one came to my mind. As soon as I saw how Bonnie was in this movie, I was like, they really learned a lot from Inside Out.
Yes, you said that. I completely agree. You're right.
Specifically, Inside Out 2.
Yes, completely.
And so the way that you worded it, where you were like, they chose the lily pad or whatever, isn't just straight evil. She reminded me of
Anxiety.
Anxiety.
I had that
from
thought
Inside
last night.
Inside Out 2.
Absolutely.
Where it's like the point that the movie is making is not that it's trying to do the right thing,
right for Bonnie,
but it's not necessarily what is right.
Yes.
And so the lesson is very, in many ways, to me, similar to the Inside Out 2 one.
Yes.
Where it's like, it's about communicating with your kids and being there. It's as much a lesson for the parents that they know are watching it, as it is for the kids that are also watching it. And I think it's important, like, as we have movies like live action Moana coming out, or Frozen 3. I think it's also important to have movies like this continue to come out, where it's still Toy Story. It's still goofy and fun, and like, it has its really heartwarming moments. Spoiler alert, like the one where Jessie is at her old house or whatever. She goes to the tree where her and her kid used to play, and she finds out that her previous kid named her daughter after her, and there's a little like,
oh my god, that wrecked me. When she finds the time capsule in the
time capsule
tree.
Thank you.
Oh my god, and she named the kid Jessie. That fucking wrecked me.
Oh man,
that
I was like,
ruined
man.
me. I was like, oh my god.
And there's a number of moments.
Oh my god. For me, there's I mean, want to talk
and
about
so
moments that got me. We already did your major spoiler warning at the beginning, so don't feel bad. But we're gonna talk about the Army of Buzzes because I do have issues with the Army. We're gonna talk about the bad.
it's not a perfect. It's not a
There's
perfect
bad
movie.
stuff, but the moment, where the Jordan was like the Army of Buzzes is gonna kill a small family, but there's a moment where
What I said technically was, if this were a different movie, then that Army of Buzzes would be about to murder that small family.
But there's a point where the two
And I'm
kids
not wrong.
are fighting over the Buzz, and they're hugging the Buzz, and the Buzzes go for the family, and the Buzz gives him a look like shakes his head like no. That moment got me too. I got a little emotional because that I at the beginning of this movie, I was like, when this came out and the argument of tech versus toys, I was like, nothing will ever beat the tactile sensation of holding a thing that looks like the thing that you love. Like nothing will take that away. And at the end of this, there's a bit where an adult gets a Buzz Lightyear. And he looks just as happy as the children because nothing beats the tactile feeling of holding a toy, of playing with the toy. And I love how that's a theme in this. It's so
especially
brilliant.
an expensive ass toy like that.
Yeah, especially
my
a wicked
God,
toy. Like
that would be an expensive toy.
Like the tech Buzz Lightyears in this make me think of that fucking that Optimus Prime toy line where they can transform and talk
Absolutely.
to you. You go Optimus Prime, transform and roll out, and man, I'm a kid inside, and that looks fucking awesome.
That looks dope.
A screen is never gonna replicate that for me. But maybe it's because I'm old. I don't know. Maybe the kids these days are different.
Yeah,
but I just don't think they are. There's a reason why we still make toys.
Yeah, but I think like the idea in this one where it's like there can be a union between the two. The Buzzes are the union.
Yeah,
you've got the lily pad is the just straight tech. The toys are the toys, and the Buzzes are supposed to be the union between the two.
Well, okay. Negative.
I mean,
stuff.
in this interpretation of the script,
negative stuff because it does lead to the positive stuff that I love. Well, I guess we'll do the Conan
but
O'Brien is phenomenal.
Before we do get to that, I want to I think the reason why this one works better is because this fourth one was just, again, I call it the epilogue of the Woody saga, specifically the Woody saga, because it's like you had the first three movies, and then the end of the third movie, Woody learns to move on from Andy and go and be with Bonnie. And then, the fourth one exists just to be like, yeah, Woody isn't happy with Bonnie, and now he's going to go be a free toy. It's really just his epilogue so that we can then get to this one, which is as far as I'm concerned, the beginning of the Jesse saga.
Here's the thing. I don't okay, negative stuff.
And this one is stronger because it's now the Jesse saga.
That was a thought I had throughout this was like, would this be better if this was Toy Story 4 instead? And I just don't think this would be as good without Toy Story 4. I think it's a much better movie than Toy Story 4, but I just don't think it would work if we jumped straight into Toy Story 4 and it's a Jesse movie and Woody is there. But maybe if he's just there in the room and he's a background character, maybe it would still work and you could still do all this stuff. But I just don't think the stuff between him and Buzz works without him having left. Like a lot of this doesn't work quite as well. But also,
unless they had a thing at the end of the third one, or at the end of the third one where they all go with Bonnie and he goes with Andy. Yeah. And then that's why he's off on his own.
But if Woody's been there the whole time and he's not just coming, it doesn't. So that's where I'm like, that's where Toy Story 4 needs to exist in order for this to work. In order for this to effectively be Jesse's story, the previous one has to be about it becoming Jesse's story, right?
Yes and no.
I don't know if we just leapt to this and now Jesse's in charge, if it would have the same emotional weight.
That's where it depends on how you end the third one. If you end the third one where there's a world for me where he keeps his family heirloom and he keeps Woody and only Woody.
I'm talking exactly the way it is. You're not changing Toy Story 3. Toy Story 3 still ends the same way. We just Toy Story
Well, then
4.
no. Then obviously no. There's no way it wouldn't. It wouldn't be the same. You couldn't have all this growth development thing where Jesse becomes the sheriff off screen. It just doesn't
No, it
work.
wouldn't work, right? That's where I agree. I'm like, I don't think
The
this
only
works.
I'm saying the only way that it works is if you have it where Woody goes off with Andy,
Yeah, no,
the rest of them stay with Bonnie.
I get
That's
that.
the only way that it
But
works.
when I'm okay, fair. Yeah, I'm saying I did have that thought where I was like, I don't know if they're like if it's still maybe if yeah if he shuffles it. I know without him leaving, this doesn't.
No, Woody has to leave.
Yeah,
Woody has to leave in
in
order
order
for it to make sense for where she's at, where she's now become the leader of the room.
yeah,
And
yeah, absolutely.
that part can happen off screen if we've set it up in the last
Yeah,
movie.
and it
And the
absolutely.
only way you set it up in the last movie is if Woody is like, "I'm sorry, but this is a family heirloom. It's all I have left of my dad," or something like that, and he takes it with him.
I
He takes Woody with him.
my other thing. Okay, I did say this on the way home, and this is often a thing with movies like this, with movies generally for me now, where I could so because we do this, we knew that they announced way back at the beginning that the Buzz Lightyears were going to be the bad guys, like they were going to be the villains in this. It was going to be as they put it, an army of evil Buzz Lightyears, and you can tell. You can tell that this was two movies. This is two movies. At one point, it was a Woody Buzz thing, and Buzz was the lead character, and them fighting the army of evil Buzzes was the thing, because there's a bunch of like weird moments that happen towards the end that feel like they're from a different movie, and the beginning sequence,
It's sinister as hell.
Sinister as hell. It's every scene with them is sinister as hell.
Yeah, and that's why I made the
ending where
joke.
they're just in love with. Yeah, that's why he made the joke that they're there to kill them, because they feel like they're the bad guys.
They're getting weapons. Like they're picking up weapons
It's
as if they're going to go
weird.
and murder this small family.
Yeah, they feel, and Buzz and Woody and the rest of the toys are so separated from Jesse that it feels like this was a separate movie. They got changed into a Jesse movie midstream for some reason, and like the ending.
It's not for some reason. It's because Lightyear failed.
You're right, absolutely. You know what? Now that you said that, that's completely true. I always thought that it was Toy Story 5 was made because Lightyear failed, but I think they were already making this.
I'm pretty sure they were already. Yeah, pretty sure they were already working on it.
I think you're right. I think
Buzz was
Lightyear
going to be the
failed.
villain, and they wanted to distance themselves from
yes,
it.
you're right. That makes total sense, because he does get kind of shuffled into the background of this. Not quite as bad as he did in the fourth one, mind you, but he does get
I
kind
don't
of
know.
shuffled.
I would argue it was just as bad as the fourth one.
Yeah, but at least this one gives it kind of a point, like he's a little bit insecure. I also like the fact
sure.
that
I
now
don't love that though, because he wasn't. That was not his character.
Well, that does lead to like the theory of the world of Toy Story, where maybe the kids that play with them impact their personality, because I do think it's funny that for 4 movies there's never been one iota of platonic love between these characters, or of romantic love between these characters, but now that Bonnie is in a place of she's making these characters get married, now Buzz wants to get married to Jessie, and that is her personality imprinting on Buzz, and I like that. So maybe Buzz is more empathetic because she's a girl, like that I don't know if that is the thing, but I love the fact that could
I
be
don't
the
know
thing.
that I agree with that inherently, because like they had that whole subplot where Jesse definitely was into Buzz in the third one when he was
Sure,
Spanish
but
and suave, and
sure,
no,
but
she definitely
it
was.
I don't know. It was, but to me, it feels like that's a boy's understanding of what women want. To me, I don't know. This had an air of like, yeah, now maybe Buzz is a bit more, but who knows? Maybe they're just like, after 5 movies.
I mean,
it's
you're
time.
talking about the same Buzz who was Mrs. Nesbit, so he was always
I guess that's true. That is true. He was Mrs. Nesbit.
he was always in touch with his feminine side.
So this movie bifurcates into 2 sections. Yeah, it's Woody and Buzz, and they're up to shenanigans, and Woody fundamentally adds nothing to this movie. You could cut him out. Like, same thing with the Army of Buzzes. They don't really add anything. Like, at one point...
the Woody Buzz stuff is just there. Sorry to interrupt. The Woody Buzz stuff is just there because that's the Toy Story that's the old Toy Story.
Absolutely.
They want to bring in all the old
like
us basically.
But with the Woody Buzz thing, the Woody Buzz stuff, and at one point even turned to Jordan, I said, the Army of Buzzes has contributed nothing to this thus far, right? And Jordan went, yeah. But like all the best stuff is the Jessie. And so Jessie gets taken off to her old house, and all the best stuff is occurring with her and Conan as Mr. Smarty Pants is a breakout character. Like, you will remember. I'm sorry, I love Duke Kaboom, but everyone's gonna remember Smarty Pants way more than they will Duke Kaboom.
Probably.
The funniest part in this movie is when all the characters from Toy Story 4 fuck off. They're all just like, well, Buzz, you're dealing with a thing later.
Woody, you got this, right?
And
you want to help them?
And then the rest of them get put into a literal closet. But, like, yeah, you guys got it. Yeah, they're just like, you got this, right? Like, the funniest part is when the Key and Peele characters don't talk because they clearly couldn't get Key and Peele back. That was really funny. But yeah,
I'm not really that sad about that.
All this stuff and right, all the tech characters are way better than all the characters from Toy Story 4. Like, it's kind of like
the only one that I would say that was maybe was I thought I was actually pretty good from Toy Story 4 was the bad girl, Mabel.
I mean, I made fun of Duke Kaboom, but I love Duke Kaboom. But that's just because I love Keanu Reeves and how weirdly enthusiastic he is about being Duke Kaboom. He loves Duke Kaboom. Like, there's a really funny video of him meeting a kid, and the kid's like, you're Keanu Reeves. He's like, yeah, do you like Duke Kaboom? It's like, really, not Neo? Duke Kaboom, that was the character that you asked him about. All right, Keanu, I respect it.
It's a little kid, though. I mean, he wouldn't have seen The Matrix.
I mean, he was like 10. His dad
probably wouldn't have seen The Matrix. Might have seen scenes from it. But anyways, off topic. No, yeah, so this movie surprised me with how much I liked it. There's a lot of callbacks too, like the fact that the major score of the movie is When Somebody Loved Me.
Yeah, most of the score is When Somebody Loved Me. Incredible. It's incredible. The little ending piece, so good. Like, really genuinely good. So good.
When she's like, I've had 3 different kids love me, and she looks at the bottom of her boot which says Bonnie. She looks at Bullseye's feet which say Andy, and then she looks at her little lapel or whatever which has the first one, and I'm like, oh man, like there's a lot of, and I don't know if it's because they're playing on the idea of getting older, and that always, as a person who's constantly getting older, that constantly plays at my emotions. That's why Toy Story 3 works so well for me.
All the first 3 are about that. They're all about transitionary different times in your life.
I know, and I'm saying that the fourth one wasn't.
The fourth one wasn't. That's why it's the weakest one. This one is. This one very much is about a transitionary part in, not even just in a kid's life, but in the world. Like, we're in a transitionary part of the world, and it's about dealing with that. It has themes and ideas and concepts and things to say. It has something to say. And, like, my God, the trailers did not do this any favors. Like, it did not make this look good. None of the marketing has made this look as good as it is. Like, I had no clue that they were going, like, Smarty Pants and the Tech Gang are, like, not even really in the marketing all that much. Like, it's mostly just really fixated
one could argue that's maybe a good thing.
Yeah, you're right. I think maybe it is to the movie's benefit, but a great deal of it is fixated on Woody and Buzz, and they're such a small part of this, and it makes the movie better. And it's one of those, I could see why people would. I thought for sure I was going to be in the small minority of like 3 reviewers who hated this, but it's new, it's unique, it's doing something different. It's not doing the same thing. It's exactly everything I asked this movie to be. And that felt weird for me, where I was like, man, this is doing everything I said it needed to do to be a good movie. And then it did it. It felt like I know they did, but it kind of felt like someone from Pixar was just watched our videos and
trolling through podcasts looking for ideas.
Yeah, it just took notes, because so much of this is better than it should be. I've never been so happy to be wrong about something. But it's hard, but it's also like what we said about Steven Spielberg, where it's Pixar. Like, this is the standard. This is the standard I hold them to. I don't hold them to Cars 1 or Cars 2, or I don't hold them to.
I hold them to Toy Story 3.
I hold them to Toy Story 3, and this is Toy Story 3 level. Like, this is
I would
that
say so.
Good. Yes,
but again,
absolutely.
to me, that's because, and I'm going to continue to harp and point to this fact of the reason why this one is stronger is because of it doesn't focus on Woody. Woody didn't need to be in this movie, and I maintain Woody shouldn't have been in this movie.
He's like a
I think it would have made his impact coming back stronger if he wasn't in this one, but he came back in the next one for something big.
Say that. I do think he's in this the correct amount. I think that he's not the focus, and I do think that he does get peppered on in a way that works for me. If it was any more, it wouldn't work. Wouldn't work for me. If it was less, it would work for me better. But
for me, every joke they make with him just made me roll my eyes.
no,
the bald
I hate it.
spot
Oh, my
made
God.
me roll my eyes. The punch,
the
bald,
the bald spot jokes got old. Like just like they looked like they were gonna in the trailer. The jokes about him being old. He was old in the first ones. Like he was old back then too. So is Jesse. Jesse is also old. Like they're old toys. Like that. It doesn't. Yeah, those jokes don't really work. But it's the emotional stuff that works in this. Like all of the emotional stuff works in this.
Yeah, like I got a little bit like ooh, like that made me feel feelings when Buzz was like, Bonnie gets to choose who the best man is, but if I had my choice, like it would be you. And like Woody in the movie gets like emotional, and I'm like, oh, that got me emotional.
When he leaves and like he's like, Jesse, you got this at the end. That kind of I was like, oh, okay, and I'm feeling feelings. I don't disagree with you that yes, he doesn't need to be in this. It doesn't really serve anything for him to be in this.
He doesn't really add anything.
The only reason he's in this beyond the obviously marketing component and the selling toys component, now they can sell Poncho Woody, is without him, who's Buzz gonna bounce off of when he's in his parts? When Jesse gets separated, what's Buzz gonna do? Like that's why he's there.
Oh, I mean,
otherwise,
that's
who's Buzz hang out with? Nobody.
Well, I mean, no. What I would have done if I was them, there's two things you could have done. One, I would have hated, but I would have understood. And two, I would have also been like, oh, of course they did that, but it would have been better, in my opinion. Is number one, Sporky, whatever. You have Sporky be the one, and I would have hated that, but you easily could have done that. But no, practically what I would have had them do is one of two sub ideas. Either you bring in a different toy in general, like a new toy, and have it fill the role, and then that way, I mean, from their point of view, they get to sell new toys. And I either would have had it be another guy who is like they're much like Buzz and Woody were in the first ones. They're rivals, where they both
might as well bring back Woody.
Where they both but it doesn't make sense to bring back Woody. But like where they're both after Jesse's affections or whatever. Either that, or you bring in a new girl character who is Jesse's competition for.
No interest in that. No interest in that. Nah.
It would have been better than bringing back Woody.
No, completely. No, wouldn't have. There's too many moments. There's too many moments in this that are enhanced by it being Woody that just.
No, it would have been better without Woody.
It would have been.
I maintain that.
It would have been a way more disposable. I just don't think. But what I mean,
either that or like you bounce him against like Potato Head or one of the already established ones.
No, he wouldn't have. The chemistry. It wouldn't have worked. But I do think that he should have been kept out of the marketing. I don't think he should be in the marketing at all, because I would say that like him being in this, I hate it when movies play something like it's supposed to be a twist, and then all the marketing ruins it. So like the bit where she goes to use the walkie-talkie, had we not known that Woody was in it, would have been a great twist. But oh shit, is that Woody? That would have been. I mean, to be fair, the internet would have spoiled the crap out of it, which is probably why. But I just think like if it were more of a secret that Woody was in this and there was actually something worth spoiling, I guess, then it might have been more effective. But yeah, I do think he's in this the correct amount. Like he's in this as much as he needs to be, and he's not in it more than he should be. He doesn't. I
think he's in it too much.
He doesn't overtake anything. He's very much as much as Buzz is a secondary character, he's a secondary character, and I appreciate that. I appreciate that he's potatoes.
Yeah, it's one of those like if he has to be in it, they did the correct thing. Yeah, exactly. It's one of those situations, but I just don't think he should have been in it.
He has to be in it, and thus they did the correct thing. Is how I would phrase it.
But I don't think he should be in it. That's my ultimate summation.
But no, again, better than it has any right to be. Like, I found myself that I got so emotional, so much more in this one than I did the last one, and I found myself being so many times being like,
because with the fourth one, with the third one, we already did the goodbye thing when it kind of came to Woody and
this
all
doesn't
that.
do that.
So then to like have that be a thing again in the fourth,
we're gonna turn this on and off a little bit frequently.
Just undercut it.
Yeah, but
whereas this one doesn't even really. This one is less about saying goodbye to Bonnie literally, and more just about like the Jesse kind of coming to terms with it's not my fault that they get old.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. I have to. But I do think giving Jesse a legacy of like but it does kind of undercut the Toy Story 2 a little bit in the sense of like, well, if she had that much of an emotional impact on her, why did she give her away? But yeah, I'm trying to think if there's anything.
I mean,
else.
because she was a teenager, it's one of those like. Clearly, I think the idea is supposed to be that, maybe at that point in her time, she didn't need Jessie anymore, but she clearly had a big impact, which is why she named her kid after the toy.
True. But definitely seemed to be resonating with the families in our audience. I gotta say, our families were cool. That was cool. That's what I wanted to end on. My first story for the news. It's a good note to end Toy Story on. Which is that it was for Toy Story 6, according to comingsoon.net, for Toy Story 6, they need to do this one thing in order to, the Toy Story 6 needs to get back to basics if it's happening. And they're like, we need to pull Woody to the forefront. You're wrong.
No.
You're just objectively incorrect. You are very incorrect, like embarrassingly incorrect. That is the thing that makes Toy Story 5 good is it's
de-emphasizing
Woody and Buzz to an extent and focusing on Jessie. The way she interacts with not even just like a situation, but characters. Her approach to interacting with characters is different. And it makes the movie feel different and unique. And in the fifth installment, you need that. If we go back to it being about Woody and Buzz, I'm going to put a gun in my mouth. I'm kidding. We're Canadian. We don't have guns.
No, I mean, okay. No, I don't think that the point... I mean... Okay, how do I say this?
Woody shouldn't be in the next one either.
No. I mean, unless it's not... There's two answers for me for this. If you're gonna have the story be about like Bonnie again and like the toys in the room, no more Woody.
No more Woody.
Like no more Woody. He's moved on. He's out in the world. You already brought him back once. If you keep bringing him back, why did he leave?
I mean, I don't. For me.
No, let me finish. For me, that's where I stand on that.
He likes being free range, baby. That's why he's. Like,
Woody can't keep coming back to solve all our problems.
But he doesn't solve the problem. That's kind of the point.
I'm talking the studio's problems.
Oh, okay. Well, then I got it. The movie doesn't solve the problem. That's kind of.
No, like the only way for me you bring Woody back is if it's his movie. So if we're getting a movie where it's about him and Bo Peep out in the world saving toys,
that'd be kind of a fun
like
movie.
there's some other story you can tell with him where it's now from his perspective, and we don't see the toys from the room.
I'd be okay with we do a Woody Buzz road trip movie and we don't call it Toy Story and it's a Woody Buzz movie. I'd be okay with that. I like Woody and Buzz.
No, Buzz can't be there.
Well, hey, you involve. It's still.
Oh no! Actually, I can conceive of. Actually, this would be amazing. So hear me out. No. Hear me out.
Toys.
I have the greatest movie idea that will never happen. Okay. So, movie begins. It's. I don't know. I don't have all the I have a loose idea here, but for whatever reason, Bonnie's family is moving to San Francisco. And Buzz gets left behind. So he has to contact Woody, and Woody and Bo Peep and them have to get Buzz across America from whatever state they were in and it's a buddy road trip movie. Has to get him to Los Angeles, and then at the end of the movie, we have the scene where Buzz finally gets back to back to Bonnie and them, and we see a scene where it's Bonnie. And she's at the same school as Riley.
Oh snap!
And it's setting up the next movie, which is an Inside Out Toy Story crossover.
Oh
movie.
snap! Who would have seen that coming? Big twist. Big twist. I'm down.
I'm just saying it would be kind of amazing.
But yes, I know, man. I know. I wasn't expecting to see this, to be saying this, but take your kids to Toy Story 5. It's honestly pretty good. Yeah.
And then tell them that you like my story idea, so we can get that movie.
Yeah. Tell Disney. Tell Disney. Jordan, the news. First bit of news, Jordan, is they put out a bunch of new shit for Xenoverse, including they let a bunch of people who aren't us play a demo, and
I heard 2 races that are supposedly in it.
And they what's the word I'm looking for, Jordan? They put out a gameplay trailer, a world trailer that basically introduces who all the characters are. I still think the fact that Goku's grandson is called Brett is funny. That's funny. I like that.
Is he supposed to be Goku's grandson?
Yes, he's supposed to be Goku's grandson.
Huh.
Bread, Jordan. Bread. Pan, bread, Brett.
Yeah, okay.
He's my favorite character in this. It's so funny because it's like it gave me everything I wanted and nothing you wanted, and that made me laugh because it's quite literally everything I wanted. It's an original story with original characters with a connection to the original. Like the OG characters, it's funny because you're like, oh, but none of the OG, they're still there. They're in the city. Because you see Piccolo and you see them.
It just makes no sense that they're there.
Apparently
Why are they there?
There is an explanation in the story about why Bulma and why all these characters are there. There is an explanation given for it in the story. And you said that there's not any time travel. We don't know that. There might still be time travel for all we know. Who's to say?
No, I didn't say that there wasn't any. I said that there wasn't any in the trailer. We don't see any.
There might not be. But I really like Brett, and I like his relationship with the custom character. It gives you an anchor in the story, and yeah, I like the fact that it's a new story. And I
mean, I suspect this is my theory because this is obviously the Great Saiyaman Patrol, the GS Patrol.
Yeah.
And they're wearing the colors that the Great Saiyaman wears, and he does the voice, and the fact that they're clearly being created by Bulma, who clearly took inspiration from the Great Saiyaman.
Absolutely.
So my suspicion is that how they'll do the time travel stuff or like the doing story stuff that you've already done, Bulma will create a virtual training simulator or something, and you'll go and you'll do it there.
That's where they'll do parallel quests, and that's where you'll do and I imagine the actual story mode is going to be 100% a new story, and then they'll just have like
potentially
this game's equivalent to parallel quests. But it was really funny. I sent you the gameplay trailer of it from GameSpot of this guy pretending. I mean, hey, look, perhaps when you're playing it, there's more depth to it. And like that's what they kind of said about Raging Blast, was that it was going to be a deeper combat experience, and I guess it kind of is, but all that really translates to is the NPCs are 1,000 times more cheap and know how to do the really intricately tricky gameplay button prompts that you can't do. Oh yeah, they have 100 percentage of a percentile point faster reaction time because they're a computer, so they can do all the bullshit gimmicks that you can't do, so they end up whooping your ass. No, the gameplay just
it does look pretty though.
It looks pretty, but it just looks like Xenoverse. I also I haven't seen anything that really justifies
why I would want to turn into Piccolo.
Right, why would I ever want to turn into Piccolo if I'm a Saiyan? Like,
especially because I keep seeing people in the comments who are like, so you know how in Xenoverse you have your hidden talent or whatever, which is the one that lets you transform.
The awoken skill.
People are saying that this replaces that. It's like it's a thing that you can equip, where instead of transforming, you turn into the different characters.
The gameplay, or the GameSpot gameplay didn't give that impression. The video I watched.
That's what I saw people saying.
He made
in the
it sound like
comments.
you have the option, because when you look at the gameplay, there's the one side which has the awoken skill tree, and then there's the other side which has the abilities. So I understood it to be that you can equip the awoken skill, and you have the option to use the soul ability or the awoken skill in gameplay. And I was like, regardless, I'm always going to choose Super Saiyan. every
I'm going to
time.
choose to transform. Like, if this is my thing is, and this is what a lot of people have been saying, where it's like, if the point of the Xenoverse games is supposed to be for me to be able to self-insert myself into this world, why
Right?
would I ever want to turn back into one of the characters that already gets to be the
Exactly.
hero? I'm there to be the hero.
Exactly. Right. Like
I want to be the one who's turning into Super Saiyan and kicking
I
ass.
don't want to be Super Saiyan 4 Goku. I want my guy to be Super Saiyan 4. And
Yeah.
I don't want to be Super
That
Saiyan
being
4
said,
Goku for the 100th time. No,
That being
thank
said,
you.
I did see that in the trailer, in one of the trailers, or anyway, there is this thing where you saw the player character go Super Saiyan Blue, and then he does Kaioken,
I did see that. Yeah, that's
and I'm
pretty cool.
like, oh, that's cool. That's something we didn't get in the other one.
I saw in one of the trailers that yeah, you actually get to see the hair like grow and change color, and I'm like, okay, that's cool, but it's not happening in the gameplay. Like this is still a Dragon Ball Xenoverse game. It's still gonna be cheap as shit. But I just the gameplay just you're right. The only thing that entices me about this remotely is the story, and that's it.
And
That's
yeah, for
it.
me, that only kind of does. So
Really, you're not interested in like an original story by Akira Toriyama in the Dragon Ball world?
I want the time travel stuff. I like the time travel stuff.
Yeah,
That's the stuff that makes this fun for me.
I perhaps if it, well, I guess if it had a different name, I suppose that. My thing is, you're right. Right now, it hasn't done enough to
There's nothing.
explain that makes it Xenoverse 3, other than I guess
And
a
not just
slight.
a new, yeah, if it had an entirely new name, I would be going at this with a completely different mindset. But for me, like with any franchise, if it's the third of a thing, then it has to be connected to the previous one in some way. So I need some story justification for where the time nest is, where the time, like
Right?
why we're not doing any of that
Why no
stuff.
Supreme Kai of
Where's Tira
Time?
and where's Tira and or Mira and Kira, Tora or whatever.
You've also
Um,
like gone out of your way to establish the Xenoverse versions of the characters as their own characters. So like, if you're not going to include Xeno Trunks,
Then
like,
what's the point?
what's
Why
the
are you calling
point?
it Xenoverse 3?
Right?
That being said, I don't know about all I don't know if this was true. I only saw a very brief thing right before this. But it appears like two of the playable races that you're going to be able to play as is bio androids. So you're going to be able to make your own cell. Um,
Oh,
and oh, what was the other one?
that's interesting.
The Kais, whatever the
Oh,
Kais are.
oh, interesting.
Um,
I saw one, but it might have just been a rumor. I saw that uh
But I think it's supposed to be like the Demon Realm version of them before they're actually
yeah
Kais.
yes, no, I did see, yes, there's something about Demon Realm guys, yes, that does sound familiar.
But yeah, the other one was yeah, because it was red and it looked like a perfect Cell version of
Interesting,
Cell Max.
interesting, okay.
Which it would make sense that if they were gonna have to come up with new races, that totally makes sense as one. Especially if we've seen in the story that the whatchamacallit, the two guys from that superhero movie that were also androids, they are in this, which means that this timeline takes place after superhero, which means that yeah, this is a world where the Red Ribbon Army made Cell Max.
Right,
So the fact that further on down the timeline they have more of those
this makes sense.
makes sense.
Jordan.
And then yeah, I'm guessing there's going to be the Friezas, there's going to be
Yeah, Saiyans, obviously.
the Saiyans, obviously the Namekians,
Yeah.
probably the
But
Majins
make
again.
my custom character be able to be Super Saiyan 4. It's the only Super Saiyan that they haven't done in one of these games. Like, who gives a shit? I don't want Ultra Instinct or God Blue. I don't give a shit about that. I want Super Saiyan 4. Anyway, moving on.
Well, especially now that they've done Daima and they have an official version of Super Saiyan 4.
Exactly. Moving on. Jordan. I saw people say that this is the only reason why anybody is going to watch Hexed. But apparently they're doing a Lilo and Stitch short where Stitch will have a rivalry with a cat named Scratch, which is just kind of funny to me because I'm like, wait, so they finally did get like a real cat, but apparently Stitch is left to deal with the new creature who has moved to it more than he's more to it than its cute appearance, which tells me it's an alien cat. But I'm curious
I
as to
mean,
like, I know that they've recast Lilo, and she's now going to be voiced by the girl who did her in the live action version. But the poster is the art style of the original movie. So he looks like original Stitch, and I'm guessing he's going to be voiced by Chris Sanders. So does that mean that this is a continuation off of that universe, or is this an animated version of the live action universe in an attempt to promote the second movie, which is going to be directed by the guy who directed the original Lilo and Stitch?
I have no idea.
I know, neither do I.
Yes. That's my answer.
Also,
yes.
Jordan, as per our discussion yesterday, Dakota Fanning played Lilo in Lilo and Stitch 2. So Lilo has been.
Okay.
Remember how I said that Lilo had a different voice once? So Lilo had the same original voice for the entire show and Lilo and Stitch and the original movie, but for whatever reason, for Lilo and Stitch 2, Stitch has a glitch. She is voiced by Dakota Fanning, randomly. It's the one movie where she doesn't have the same voice. I don't know why. I do remember that there being commercials for that. Like where they're like, and Dakota Fanning. I do remember when they did that, and it was like a big deal, because then they brought back the original girl for Leroy and Stitch. But yes, for that one random movie, it was Dakota Fanning. Do you know?
Okay.
Do you know who Dakota Fanning is?
She was in Cat in the Hat.
Yes, she's the girl from Cat in the Hat. That is.
She was also in Push.
Was she?
Yeah.
Oh, all right then.
That one that has Chris Evans, and they have the superpowers, and she's a psychic.
Yes, I did know that. Jordan, Hannah Montana star alum Mitchell Musso was on a podcast, and I only included this because he's objectively correct. He said that
I've seen bits and clips of it
of him being like the special was wrong. He was like they did it the
well,
wrong
him
way.
being like I was busy or whatever, but I would have come back for the right thing, and it was like an episode or this or that, and I just was like, I don't believe.
Say the last part again.
What?
Sorry. I said
I don't believe he was busy because what is Mitchell Musso doing?
Exactly. Yeah, no, he wasn't busy. You were busy.
I think he just didn't get asked.
No, I fully believe he asked. I just believe he didn't.
No, I don't believe he got asked. I think Disney was like, we want nothing to do with him.
No. I fully believe he was asked because they also asked what's her face, Emily Osment, and she was also too busy.
Right, but Emily Osment didn't get ostracized by Disney.
No,
Mitchell Musso did.
No. He absolutely got asked back. No, I believe that he got asked back, and he was like, "No, I'm not coming back just to do." It's just like Billy Ray, who clearly didn't know what he signed up for. But no, like a bunch of them didn't want to come.
No, I don't. Yeah. Oh no, I don't believe he. I don't believe he was asked.
Disney is just that scrupulous. No, Disney hasn't really made much of an attempt to move past him. They not in the same way that he. If they were not gonna move past Miley, who did equally bad to far worse shit.
But Miley was the money maker.
Right, but like in order to
he wasn't.
No, I fully believe that he was invited to the premiere of the thing like the other people were.
Oh, that's different than being asked to be on the show.
No. I don't think he was asked to be in the special. I think he was asked to come to the premiere, and he went,
okay. Well, that's not what you said.
Well, no, that's what he means when he says I was asked. That's what he means. That's what he's talking about.
He means to be on the show.
No. No, he was asked in the same way that like all the other cast members who showed up to the premiere, they were asked to show up to the premiere. They were invited. He was invited to the premiere, and he chose I know that's true because that was a thing that came out in the news when that thing premiered, where he refused to go to the premiere because he thought it was beneath him, and I thought that was funny because. To what you said, what are you doing, Mitchell Musso? It's not beneath you. So when he says he was busy, he's full of shit. He wasn't too busy to show up to the premiere.
Well, no, then in that instance, my opinion completely changes. If he was just getting invited to the premiere, why the fuck would I go to the premiere of a thing I wasn't in?
Right, exactly. Yeah, exactly. Well, it's because it was a celebration of the show.
Oh, fuck that. That was like 20 years ago. What the fuck do I care?
Exactly.
To me, that's the equivalent of being like, oh
exactly.
Yeah, Dave didn't go to the high school reunion. Let's all judge him for it. Who the fuck? What
does Dave care? Exactly. Like he's right. They did it wrong. It was lame. The best part.
It was a lame thing, and so it's like he wasn't even in it.
Why would I go to the thing? The high school reunion is the best. That's great because that is so accurate. Like why would I go to the high school reunion where nobody? Like everyone's lame except for the one person who was prom queen. Like why would I go to that?
To me, it's the equivalent of like, oh yeah, he wanted to have like a high school reunion where they were like went to like a a nice ballroom, had a fancy
he wanted to
dinner.
spend some money on
You know,
it.
he wanted to spend some money
Yeah,
on it,
yeah,
and they had it.
exactly.
They had it in the school gymnasium, and gave Miley Cyrus the little plastic tiara to get up on stage and wear.
Exactly. It's like, why would I go to
Why
this?
would I waste
$20
my time
on
doing
this.
that?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, like that was the thing, is I saw all the comments being like, oh, he's just jealous, and it was very much that meme of, why are you booing him? He's right.
Yeah,
It was like, no, he's right. It was awful. Like, that was the funniest part of that special, was it opening up like a book of people discovering how terrible it was. Like, what? She didn't even wear a wig. What do you mean you grew your hair, Miley? Your character wore a wig. That was the whole point.
Like, maybe that's just my old man coming out, but like, there's so many other things I could spend my evening doing. Why would I waste my time doing that?
Right? To go take a few cursory pictures with
for a thing I wasn't even in.
With some of the cast of a thing I was in 20 years ago, and not.
Yeah, no.
No, yeah. Like, just saying, you could have. Disney has the money to have spent like 3 weeks shooting like a 30-minute special where they all got to be their characters again. Him being like, yeah, I would come back to be the character. I believe that. Like, that I believe. Like, he's so stupid. I'm speaking of things that don't make any sense, Jordan. You know what? We'll do the rest of the trailers at the end. They finally announced officially, and they gave it a release date and everything. They're making that Donkey spinoff. Apparently, it's coming out June 30th, 2028. Exactly 1 year after the theatrical release of Shrek 5. Apparently, it's going to be about... Yeah, the Donkey movie is expected to feature the origin story of how a donkey became Donkey.
Don't we already know his origin story? Like,
Well,
he was just a talking donkey.
Yeah, that's the gag. He's a gag on... Well, it depends. Like, in the original movie, I know he's just a talking donkey. There's nothing remarkable about him at all. That's the joke. But then there was a bunch of internet theories that he was one of the kids who got turned into a donkey that went to...
Sure, but I'm talking officially within the confines of the Shrek universe.
Well,
he's just a talking donkey.
It seems like it's going to be a case of he was a regular donkey and he became a talking donkey. My question is this going to lead to, like, the old lady dropping him off with Lord Far? Sorry, I'm asking too many questions. My main question is, this is too late, right?
Yeah.
Like, this... What is this?
Like 12, 13, 14 years too late.
Like somebody... This article says that this was based on...
You maybe could have gotten away with this when, like, Toy Story 2 had just come out.
This is apparently based on the success of the first Puss in Boots movie. The first one. That's why this exists. But, like... Even that was too late for Puss in Boots.
Puss in Boots, it kind of worked because, like, he was a mysterious enough character, and, like, there's the whole South American part of his character which you could lean into, which kind of provides character and depth. You don't have that with Donkey.
No, but I'm not talking about. I'm talking about, like, it's too late. I don't know. Is Shrek? I guess maybe it is. We're making Shrek 5, but I just don't think Shrek is. Like, to me, if you had made this after Shrek 2 and before Shrek 3,
that's what I said.
Yeah. Then no, you said Toy Story 2.
What? No, I said Shrek 2.
No, you definitely said Toy Story 2. You said if you made this after Toy Story 2. I was gonna say.
No, I'm pretty sure I said Shrek.
I'm pretty sure Toy Story 2 came out before Shrek.
I'm pretty sure I said Shrek. But anyways, you know I meant Shrek 2.
But yes, this should have come out. Yes, if this maybe even after Toy Story 3. God, now you got me doing it. Shrek 3. Maybe after Shrek 3. Maybe Shrek still has
I think that was no. After Shrek 3, I think was kind of its start of its downturn.
Yeah. I don't know.
You would have had to do it around Shrek 2.
I mean, I don't disagree, but I think you could have still gotten away with it if you'd done it after Shrek 3. Like, after Shrek 4, it's too late. Like, Shrek 4 and on, it's too late. But before Shrek 4, Shrek still has enough cultural juice. They're making like specials and shit at that point. So, like,
I think if they had done this after Puss in Boots 1, maybe. It might, like, because that was kind of not, and even then, no. What I would have done is after Puss in Boots 2.
Yes,
okay. I would have done it.
But that is a reignition,
because that's the reignition of it.
Yeah, but that's what led to. To be fair,
And then
deny
at
it.
that
That's
point,
what led to Shrek 5, though. Is that
and then
popular.
at that point, having a donkey backstory thing kind of makes sense because it's been so long since the original one
Yeah,
that like you can kind of get it, much like they did with Puss in Boots. You can kind of get
but
away with it more.
Shrek also went through that weird renaissance of popularity on the internet there for a while. So like, I don't know.
Well,
Maybe
Shrek
we're
also limped
wrong.
along after Shrek 4 with all the shorts that he did.
Yeah, that is true. I don't know. I don't know. Is Shrek? This is a case of am I old? Is Shrek just still that popular amongst Gen Z and Gen Alpha? If you are a Gen Z kid, this is the one time I'm inviting your comments. I'm invoking you. Is this a popular thing amongst your age group? Because I'm like, I don't know, man. It just feels kind of. Like I saw. I don't.
I wouldn't have thought so.
I didn't include this, but on a podcast, Mike Myers was like, "No, we're still making Austin Powers 4." And I saw a picture of him in a commercial that they released where he's playing Dr. Evil, and Dr. Evil in that commercial looks anemic. Like he just looks really thin, and it looks wrong. I haven't seen the actual commercial, so I don't know. Maybe in like when it's moving, it doesn't look quite as off-putting, but it just looked off-putting and wrong. And that's just what it feels like. Oh my god, he's still doing Shrek. He's still going Shrek, and I don't know. It just feels like it's too late for. But I don't know. The internet's still talking about Shrek 5, so who knows? We need to move on.
Yes, we do.
Another quick thing, because I surmise you don't have anything to say about this either, really. Rick and Morty spinoff. They put out a full trailer for that President Curtis spinoff.
Yeah, I don't get it.
I don't.
That was bad. That was an example where it's like it doesn't look bad necessarily, but I just don't understand it.
There's like multiple weird meta jokes about the fact that the character is played by Keith David in that trailer. Like, there's more than one. It's very peculiar. Like, yeah, okay, he's got a nice voice. That's an odd joke, but all right.
Again, like I said, for me, it's one of those where like I just don't understand who's asking for it.
No, because I'd say Rick and Morty fans, but no, Rick and Morty fans hate Rick and Morty. So like that's kind of their whole deal. So like I just don't think any diehard Rick and Morty fans like, you know which character I want to see a full show out of? The president played by Keith David. I don't. But there's jokes in there that were funny. Like when he's like, don't pull this Billie Jean shit on me. I keep it wrapped and tapped. I'm like, that's funny. That's a funny
that's
joke.
Where I say like the trailer doesn't look bad.
I don't
like,
hate his
doesn't look like it's a bad show necessarily. It's just for me, I just don't understand who was asking for it.
I don't hate his secondary characters either. I actually think they're kind of funny.
No, that's what I'm saying. It doesn't look like a bad show.
No, it absolutely doesn't. No,
it's just the fact that like we're getting this off the back of Rick and Morty. Who was asking for that?
Well, it's not even...
There's a lot of characters in Rick and Morty where I'm like, okay, a show about them could be different and weird and interesting. Like Bird Person, show about Bird Person would be very different. But like, I
think as always, it's my
who saw the president. And was like, I need an entire show about that character.
It's not for me. It's not like anything. Any one of these things. It's not its existence that I find peculiar. It's its timing. Because like, okay, man, maybe if you put this out during like season 3 or 4, during like that drought when Rick and Morty was like weirdly memey and like on T-shirts and shit, and it was like Szechuan sauce and all that stuff. Then sure, maybe you could get away with doing a show with a random character. But by season 7 or 8. You got a very select group of people who are watching it, and I don't know who it's for. But it's not to say it doesn't look funny. It does look funny.
Yeah, I don't know.
That dovetails nicely into the next thing I don't get, and that is the Stewart fails to save the universe. That's the same thing.
Yeah, that's the same thing where I'm like, who is it for? It doesn't look bad necessarily.
I mean, it's for me because it looks really good. But yeah, I saw a comment that was like, I love how every one of these spin-offs looks progressively less like
Big Bang Theory.
Big Bang Theory. Yeah, I think that's funny. It's like, yeah, it does. It progressively looks less and less like Big Bang Theory.
If you didn't have that tag on there, most people wouldn't even know that
Will
it was.
Wheaton is definitely in it, by the way. I meant to mention this to you before. I'm convinced he's definitely in it because I saw a podcast clip of a woman interviewing him, and she's like, tell me about Stuart fails to save the universe, and he makes a face, and he starts to say like generic interview stuff about it, but I just went, that means he's in it.
Well, yeah, that means he's in it, or he wasn't asked to be in it, and he's upset about it.
No, he talks about, like, she's asking him from the perspective, and he's talking about it as though he knows about the project. So either he's producing it, and I didn't see his name on the producer credit list, or he's in it. He's in an episode. So I suspect there's going to be a Will Wheaton variant. Because why wouldn't you? Why wouldn't you?
I mean, the one that the two three variants, but two for sure, that I want to be in there in some capacity are Leonard and Sheldon.
I mean, yes.
And I would also like to have Penny, but if I can only have two, it has to be Leonard and Sheldon.
I'm pretty convinced that Kaley Cuoco is also in it, because there was I'd be surprised if she wasn't. There's been a couple of like clips of cast members being like, maybe, like I saw one of Simon Hedberg, Howard, being like, maybe, but there was one where Kaley Cuoco was doing a red carpet interview, and they're asking her about it, and she gave like a Marvel style, I can't say anything, and when you say I can't say anything, that means probably. So I think,
to me, Howard has to be in it. The dude lived with or dated his mom. Like, he has to be in it.
Yeah. But they all have to be in some capacity, right?
It doesn't have to be much.
But if they are in it and they manage to get away with marketing this without having any of them be in the marketing, respect. That'll be that'll be your absolute respect. Batman related stuff, Jordan. Apparently they're making a absolute Batman TV show.
Okay. Like a live action one?
No, an animated one.
Huh.
I know,
okay.
Right? I'm actually kind of that's
I accept that.
It's the closest I'm ever gonna get to learning about absolute Batman and the absolute DC universe. You know, he's Batman with an axe that looks like a bat, like the bat symbol. Why does he have an axe? Does he kill people with that axe? He also is not a billionaire, and he hates billionaire, and he's gigantic in every piece of artwork I've ever seen of him. I like that. I'm interested in learning more about that character. And then another DC thing that they're doing, they announced at the same time, was there's going to be an anime starring the Joker about the Joker. The new anime series about Batman's villain is called Joker: Laugh Riot. The show will be set in a world where Batman has been murdered, with the Joker on a quest to track down his killer. DC Studios is producing the show in collaboration with WB Animation and Sola Entertainment. The logline reads, when the Batman is murdered, the Joker launches a ruthless crusade through Gotham's underworld to find the killer who took away his greatest adversary. But as his violent quest for answers pushes him closer toward vigilante than villain, the Joker is forced to confront the truth that without Batman, he doesn't know who he is. That actually sounds kind of awesome.
That sounds like fun.
That sounds like a ton of fun. I am very much...
And then there's that one that I sent you, which is like a 3-part thing.
Oh yeah, I forgot to include Nightfall. Yeah, that looks sick as well. That's Batman Nightfall.
It looks dope.
That is based on a comic called Bat. That's where Azrael comes from. They did a version of it in The Dark Knight Returns where it's like, oh, what we're waiting for. That's based on Nightfall. It is a very apparently I think the first part is out, and apparently it's really good. Yeah, no, we're gonna cut that because who cares?
But
Jordan, King of the Hill. King of the Hill is back with the second half.
Yeah, that looks fun.
With what is definitely the second half of the 24 episode season that they split into 2 parts because animation doesn't work like that. They got it out way too quick. Anyway, no, it looks really funny. I'm a little nervous that they're gonna lean into the Hank doesn't get people thing. Like they're gonna undo some of the emotional depth that character got. I do think it's bold, considering he was the thing that got like criticized the most. It's really fascinating that they focused Khan so much in this trailer because it pulled me out immediately that he doesn't sound right. He's the worst out of all of them. He still does not sound good. Like, it's a bad performance. It still sounds like a bad performance. The guy playing Dale is at least trying. It may sound off occasionally, but I respect it, and at least he's trying. He's not trying. It sounds bad. I like the fact that Hank has a dog now. He's got a little dog, a little puppy. That's funny. I'm looking forward to that. That's gonna be funny.
He had to replace Ladybird.
Yeah, that was a rumor. That was a rumor that in this season he was gonna have a little puppy. I was like, that's funny. I like that. I like the bit where where Hank and Peggy find Bobby in bed with somebody. That's funny.
With Connie.
With Connie, yeah. That's funny because that image leaked of them finding him in bed and him having the sheet pulled up, and that was an image that leaked of. That was like one of the first images that leaked of adult Bobby. And people didn't, or it wasn't clear as to whether or not it was going to be Connie. I don't like the fact that they're back together. That is not terribly interesting to me. But I do like the fact that Bobby gets his own. Whoa! That's excellent. That's good. That's funny. Yeah, I really like this revival, and I'm very excited to see it come back. I thought.
Yeah, the only part of it that I don't love is that him and Connie are back together. That to me is lame. But
it's so lame. It's just not. Yeah, it's not very interesting to me. But I really like that first half of the first season, whatever you want to call it, and I'm looking forward to seeing this come back.
Senor.
Then finally, Jordan. Finally.
Yes.
Come on. There it is. We have Forgotten Island. We have Forgotten Island. And
that looks fun.
That does look fun. Honestly, the second trailer I like it a bit better than the first one because I like the fact that there's a villain. It does scream a little bit to me like K-pop Demon Hunters was big. It does have that kind of vibe to it. It's given off. There's a lot of really. It's got a lot of anime influence to it. At least in my opinion, it does. The action looks good. It reminds me a lot of that. Speaking of that Puss in Boots movie, it reminds me a lot of that Puss in Boots movie. Like the art style and the animation
that's
style.
Interesting because to me the animation art style reminds me of Across the Spider-Verse.
Yes, I can see why you would say that too. Yeah, it does. It does have that kind of. But yeah, that movie was going to impact
comic booky style.
Yeah, that's why immediately I went, yeah, this is DreamWorks trying to be K-pop Demon Hunters. Like it's. But to be fair, K-pop Demon Hunters is done by the same animation house that did Spider-Verse, so it's the same animation style.
Yeah. So there you go.
That's pretty much just.
But I don't view that as a bad thing.
No, it's not a bad thing. But yeah, the action looks tight. It looks really tight. It looks really pretty. It looks really fun.
And the dog boy is cute.
I like Dave Franco. I've never liked Dave Franco in a thing. I've always liked Dave Franco, and this is no exception. I like Dave Franco.
At first, I was like, I was confused, and I thought, no, and I was like, I momentarily was like, is that Aaron Paul? And then I listened, and I'm like, no, it's not.
No.
Then I scrolled down, and I saw that it was Dave Franco, and I was like, oh yeah, no, it's definitely Dave Franco.
Definitely Dave Franco. Jordan, that's the news.
Good
news, Jordan. I'm pretty sure we kept the news under 30 to 40 minutes. I think we're an hour and 10 minutes in, but to be fair, I'm pretty sure like 30 minutes of that is Toy Story 5, and it deserved it. And we didn't argue about it, making it go longer. Like we do. They can't hear you clapping. The Zoom is not picking up the clapping. Anyway, today's show is brought to you by, as always, Wild Education. You can, if you go to their Facebook page, they have options where you can put in $10 and you can enter a draw to have an interaction with Gary, the serval cat. And if you have lizards and animals that eat small rodents, you can purchase rodents from them, and they have options for you to pick them up. I have a link to that in the description as well. But if you go to their Facebook or the YouTube, and you can find all that stuff, learn about what they got going on. You can support them and their endeavors to help the animals. And also, I'm gonna play this in a second. But the Final Frontier is gonna be at a convention in America somewhere. I won't be there. I'll be there by robot. But Jake will be there, and I've got a trailer for that. And you're gonna temporarily have to put up with seeing OBS while I play that for you. And then we'll once that's done. Once that's done,
Hey everybody, it's Jake from the Final Frontier podcast, and I want to invite you to come see, well, kind of us. Me, definitely. Justin will be there in robot form to In Conjunction, Indiana's oldest volunteer sci-fi and book convention. We have been graciously invited to lower the bar at In Conjunction, and we will happily do so, but we're also going to raise that fun bar. We're going to have our table set up, tell people about the podcast. If you watch and you're in the greater Indianapolis area, come say hi, take a photo. I'll sign something for you. I don't care. And we're going to have Star Trek merchandise to sell. We're going to have a raffle going off and free candy. Come to In Conjunction, say hi to us, and then check out all the other great stuff. And a little birdie told me there's going to be gaming and panels.
Oh, that's pretty cool.
So,
That's pretty cool.
yeah, it's going to be a lot of fun. So come see us at In Conjunction July 10th through July 12th, 2026 at the Wyndham Indianapolis Airport. So that's the hotel that's right there, conveniently located close to the airport. And we will see you guys there at In Conjunction.
We will see you there.
I will see you. Justin will see a video feed of you.
Okay, we should be back. We should be back now. I realized as I was sitting there, I should have taken that opportunity to get up and get water. Ugh, foolish. But anyway, yeah, we will be at In Conjunction Con, the Final Frontier. Jake and in some variation there, or I'll be there. Probably just gonna record a loop of me being like,
Well, you're not going to be on video call the entire time, the entire however many hours that he's there for?
I offered to be on video call for some of it. You know, like Sheldon in that episode of Big Bang Theory where he was a robot. Where he was a robot. But anyway, that we did that. We're going to do that. That played. Yeah,
Musicians.
We're going to move on to the main event of the evening, of the day, of the time, of the week, of the year. And that is musicians. Musicians. People who play music. People who existed, who played music, who maybe didn't exist, who didn't play music, but did play music.
No, they all played music.
Jordan, you can go first.
All right. The first one is Whiplash.
Jordan, why'd you suppose I threw that chair at your head?
Because I wasn't keeping
Jordan,
on
maybe
your time.
you could be on my fucking time!
I don't know if they heard that.
I don't think they did. Yeah, the fan is making a really loud rattling noise now.
No, I more meant because you probably peaked the mic.
No, for whatever reason, it only ever peaks when you yell. Whenever I yell, it doesn't peak.
What the fuck?
I know.
It's not fair.
I know.
Whiplash. 2014. It's a psychological drama film, I guess.
You're nearly killing yourself in the pursuit of art is worth it if people notice you make the big banging sound with your stickies.
Yeah, drums are important. This has Miles Teller. This has J.K. Simmons. This is a great movie.
Jordan, there's people out there.
Justin, it's a great
It is. It's
movie.
A phenomenal movie. There's people out there who think that J.K. Simmons and Miles Tellers are admirable in this movie, Jordan. Legit. I'm not joking. It exists on the internet. I was when I watched this for the show last time, I Googled it and it was a bunch of like, do people think that this is an actual legitimate approach to things? And then people are like, yeah, man, it's how you make grapes. You mold them out of clay and whatever. And it's like, no. Did you miss the part where the guy was so psychologically damaged that he hurt himself? No.
You do not fucking psychologically damage your students and cause them to want to hurt themselves to do the task.
Right?
That is not how you teach people.
No, it is not how you teach people. Fletcher is a bad person. Had you seen this before?
I think so.
Really? This doesn't seem like... The only reason I could think as to why you would watch this is because I told you to.
I can't say for sure, but
it's phenomenal.
This feels like one of those ones that back in that time, it was 2014.
Yeah.
So I think it was in that time when we just watched things.
No. This was one of those years one of the first years I decided I wanted to watch every single Best Picture. No, I watched this alone. Along with Birdman and a couple other movies that came out this year on my computer. I remember because I was in the middle of watching it and our power went out. And this was when we lived in Langley.
It's hard for me to tell whether I know it, whether I recognize it because I recognize it, or if I recognize it because I recognize all the things that have parodied it.
Yeah, well, it's one of those things where you've probably definitely seen at least one version of the scenes where he's screaming at him.
Yeah.
Weird Al did a parody of it that's really funny. The
Simpsons did.
There's the bit where it's Roger and it's a meme that went huge on TikTok where he's like, I hear that the expert, the teacher here is this really intense expert. Shit, it's Roger, isn't he? Like, what? Back off, jack offs. And he comes in, he's just dressed like J.K. Simmons from this movie. Yeah, his shit's so. It's one of those things where he was really passionate about this to begin with. Like there was a short film version of it that came out first. Where it wasn't Miles Teller, but it was J.K. Simmons. So he's been with this from like the beginning. But it really is. He won Best Supporting Actor for this, I believe, and it is well deserved because he is phenomenal in this. It is so good. The scenes where he's yelling at him in the classroom are so tense. Like, it's my favorite J.K. Simmons movie, like, of all time.
Yeah, and it's one of those things too where I like how it's called Whiplash because like the J.K. Simmons character is so emotionally whiplash, where it's like one minute he's really nice to them and he's like, yeah, this is why I do this is because I'm trying to make grapes and I'm trying to do this and that, and then next minute he's like throwing drumsticks at their head.
It's actually named after the song that they play in the movie. The song that they play in the movie is called Whiplash.
Well, I feel like
solid reading of the Jordan. That is the exact kind of bullshit you pull out of your ass in a films class. So look at that, Jordan. We've elevated your palate to being shit community college film studies class, Jordan. We've now evolved.
No, I think Miles Teller does a really good job.
He's really good
being
too. Yeah.
The obsessive, passionate, fucking drummer.
He's got a lot of
J.K. Simmons is obviously really good, and it's a really really solid movie.
It's a funny movie because it made me go like, I don't get this. Like at a certain point, he's just banging, making noise. I don't really, unlike a guitar solo where those at least like tweak my inner ear. Drum solos do nothing for me. But no, my favorite scene in that movie is where Miles Teller goes to the girlfriend and he's like, I have to break up with you because you're gonna prevent me from playing the drums, and then I'm eventually gonna resent you, and we don't want that. That's one of my favorite scenes in this.
So it's funny that you mentioned the girlfriend, or the girl, the one who dates Andrew, because so this week, Justin, you and I, we had to wrestle with the really important decision of do we watch Toy Story or do we watch Supergirl, and this week I got to skate by that because this movie had Supergirl in it.
It has a Supergirl.
Melissa Benoist, whatever.
Benoist, yeah, you got it right.
She is the CW Supergirl. So I technically watched a Supergirl.
I don't know. See, we're gonna have to come back to the Supergirl movie because maybe when we do the Supergirl movie, one of us will have to watch the Supergirl show. Because like, what's funny is just as a random aside, just real quick, is the internet is trying to do this thing where they're like, no, we don't like the new Supergirl because she's bad. The only Supergirl we've ever liked is the CW one. And I've seen so many people be like, no, you didn't. You hated her when she came out too. And I was like, yeah, no, they're right. They did. No, it happened. No, they're right.
That's accurate.
That's 100%
that's true.
accurate. Yeah, that happened. And for me, she's always going to be the girl from Glee because that's where I saw her first. She was on Glee first.
But Benoit?
Yeah, that was the most mind-blowing thing one day when I remembered that Grant Gustin was the bad guy on Glee. And I was like, holy shit, I hated him.
And now I love him as the Flash.
I hated him so much. He was trying to break up Kurt and Blaine. Sorry, this is not Glee. Anyway, Jordan, do you have anything else you want to say about
I liked this movie.
This movie? Yeah.
I liked Whiplash.
I love movies where you're like, did I see this or have I just seen this in TikTok clips enough times that I feel like I've seen this? That happened to me a number of times.
And I honestly can't say.
Yeah.
I think I did watch it.
Yeah, quality movie.
But
the thing is, if a movie, if the performances in a movie can make you forget that it's just about a guy playing college level drums, like that means it's a good movie. If it can make you forget that, like that's the mark of it being a good movie.
Was it college level? Because I thought he was in high school.
No, it's college. Yeah, he starts off in the lower level. He's trying to get into the Schaefer Conservatory.
Yeah, he's at the prestigious Schaefer Conservatory.
The conservatory, yeah, and he wants to get into the higher level class. That's which is what Fletcher's class is. Anyway,
Okay. Apparently, I missed that. I thought in the beginning, I thought the idea was that basically, at the beginning, he was in the high school one, like at graduation, basically trying to get the attention of the college people, and then he got the attention of the college person, and then when he moved into that college person's band, then he was in college. That was my interpretation.
Yeah, no. He starts off in the
B grade class,
like the
basically.
second stringers. No pun intended.
Not even the second stringers. They would be the third and fourth stringers because the second stringers were the backup for the first string.
Yeah, I meant in terms of the actual band itself.
I get what you're saying.
Yeah,
I'm being a pedantic dick, but
Yeah, it's like in high school, the difference between like your 8th grade band and your like 11th grade jazz band.
Yeah,
basically.
But no, that's where I clearly got mixed up there.
Jordan, I'm excited for this one. Also, I feel the need to remind you that you've got your shit Justin has to watch list that you've got to add to it, because I've added a couple things. Well, I added one thing to it this week, but my list is starting to shape out longer than yours. You only have 3. I'm up to 5.
Yeah, well, the problem is a lot of the things that there's a lot of times where it's like things that I would put on the list are either things you've already seen, and I want to put things you haven't seen on there. Or
if you want to torture me with something.
No. That my point is I want to put things on. I want to torture you with fresh hells.
Yeah,
fresh hells that you haven't seen, or things that are so good that I'm like, I have to get him to watch this. But a lot of times you've seen most of the things, or if it's a thing that I'm like, oh man, Justin needs to watch this. You're watching it with me in theater.
I mean, that is true. Hey, man, you'll have to be selective. I just wanted to remind you that it exists. My next thing.
I do have one that I'm probably going to add this week just because I need to have you watch it.
That's funny. I added one from this week, too, and it's probably not the one you're expecting. So, this next movie, it's fascinating. I wasn't sure. You might have heard of the movie version of it, but I don't think you've heard about what the movie is about. So, this is technically a biopic-ish, biopic jukebox musical. This is called Better Man, and it's about UK singing music pop star sensation Robbie Williams. You've not heard of Robbie Williams, right?
No relation to Robin Williams?
No relation to Robin Williams, no.
Then no, I don't think so.
And so, so this is a biopic about the musician Robbie Williams with the weird creative decision made where Robbie Williams in this movie is a monkey. He's a CGI monkey. And I feel like we might have talked about the trailer for this on the show, or me and you talked about it. But I remember you asking me the question, why is he a monkey?
What is this?
Better Man. I remember explaining to you why he's a monkey and being like, I don't know why he's a monkey. He's just a monkey. But he's just a monkey. He's a CGI monkey. And there's no rhyme or reason for it. At the beginning, there is what is definitely an 80-yard in line about how this is how he sees himself. And when asked externally, Robbie Williams said that he saw himself as a performing monkey. But he is the only CGI character in the movie. None of the other characters are anthropomorphic animals. And he looks like a chimpanzee, but he's only really kind of got a monkey face and monkey hands. And he's made just human enough so that when he has sex with a girl later in the movie, it's not weird or bestiality. I mean, it is weird, but it's not weird or bestiality.
It sounds pretty weird.
It's pretty weird. And the performance gets really lost in... Are you looking it up?
No, I'm switching my thing.
Anyway. It gets utterly... The reason why I watched this is because both Jake and Virus, friend of the podcast, Jake and Virus, recommended it. Jake said it was really good. So the number one thing is, he gets really lost in the fact that he's a CGI monkey. So a lot of the motion, like as good as a monkey can ever look, it's not human. so it can't emote. So there's a lot of highly emotional scenes in this that get utterly lost in the fact that he's a monkey. Like, completely lost. Like, almost all of the emotion. Not even just that he's a monkey, but that he's a CGI monkey. And to be fair, the CGI looks alright. The character is reasonably emotive, but it's kind of the problem Lion King has, where animals can't emote, and he's an animal. And it's particularly perplexing, because off the back of this, I watched a lot of clips of him performing, and Robin Williams has a ton of charisma. He's like a very charismatic guy. He's a ton of personality. His performance presence, his stage presence is great. And it's just very strange that he would choose to bury himself in it being a CGI monkey. And what's even more interesting about this is you've never heard of Robbie Williams, right? Obviously, we've already been through this. Before seeing this movie, I had never heard of Robbie Williams. And the movie is fascinating because it's a real exploration and almost dissertation about his, insecurity about being famous. So throughout the movie, the character is insecure about the fact that he's not famous enough. And what's really interesting, for me anyway, is this movie makes you think that he's way more famous than he thinks he's more famous than I think he is, but he seems like he's really famous. Once you learn who he is, everyone seems to know who he is, but before you know who he is, nobody seems to know who he is. It's really strange. So like there's a big sequence in this movie. It reminds me of two movies. It reminds me of Bohemian Rhapsody and Rocket Man. Like there's a point in this movie where he goes, "Oh, I'm Elton John." He's like, "Oh, I'm Elton John." And it's like, well, but no, because Elton John, people know who he is in America. Like, he's internationally known. You just seem to be kind of regionally famous. Which is interesting because, yeah, there's a lot of Canadian stars we grew up watching, like the Moffats, who could, like, draw huge crowds, but I guarantee you Jake has no idea who they are. And, like, that made me think about, like, regional fame. And how even when you're regionally famous, like, you're just famous within your own country, it still feels famous. Even though you wouldn't be famous.
It still is famous.
Right. So, like, there's a scene in this movie where he's doing a big concert. The plot of this doesn't matter. It's a biopic. It's got all this. He gets too big for his britches. He does a bunch of drugs. Has a bunch of sex. Sings a bunch of songs. You know the plot. Sorry, spoiler alert. All these movies are exactly the same in that regard. That's not what makes this movie interesting. But there's a scene where he's performing, and okay, you know how in Bohemian Rhapsody, there's the bit at the end where he does Live Aid.
Yeah.
And it looks just like it did in real life.
Yes.
Like shot for shot almost. That happens in this, where he has like two performances.
He goes to Live Aid?
No, he has a performance at a big venue in the UK with like huge like sea of people as far as the eye can see. And it's presented in this movie exactly how it was in real life. Like he descends from the ceiling upside down, and he like frees himself, and he has this bit where he's like, "For the next 2 hours, your ass is mine." And it's really high energy performance, and it's really cool, and the performance is really cool. It's taken like shot for shot, beat for beat, moment for moment from real life. Except for in the movie, he's a monkey, and in real life, he was a real guy. But it's weird because that performance in real life is so charismatic that you're like, well, why would you, if this movie is to introduce you to America, why would you hide yourself as a monkey? And so there's so many moments like that where the movie pretends that he's Elton John, or that he's Freddie Mercury, that he's this larger than life character that everybody knows. And then this movie came to America and is one of the biggest bombs of all time. Like, nobody in America knew who he was. So this movie tanked horribly, bombed horribly in America. Because nobody knew. And I remember when this came out, a big point of discussion with Jake. And I would love to, now that I've seen this, I'm going to have to corner Jake and chat with him about it. Because, like, he gets really lost in it. But Robbie Williams has such charisma that if you had got like a Jafar Jackson or someone who looked like him, if this movie was meant to sell him to America, it doesn't do a great job of doing that. There's a lot of like an early part of his career is he's part of a boy band, and and the boy band is famous. And like I'm reading about this, and I'm like, oh, this is a famous boy band I've never heard of. But the frustrating bit, other frustrating bit about the monkey is it seems like at one point, it was gonna be revealed that he saw himself as a monkey, because there's a lot of shots of like close-ups of his face. Like there's a bit where he looks into the mirror and he sees a monkey reflecting back at him. But I'm like, well, that moment would have been better if he looked in the mirror and it was a man looking back at him, and then that made it clear that why he was a monkey. Oh, that's what it was. It came to America and everyone asked. I remember this was a big thing on TikTok. You had all the Robbie Williams fans were like, "This is brilliant. It's the most amazing thing that I've ever seen." And you got everyone else who's like, "Why is he a monkey?" And again, the movie never explains it. Like, and it's weird. Like there's points.
Yeah. Or what the scene where you said that he's looking in the mirror. Another thing they could have done is like you see the mirror, like him in the mirror, and he's the monkey in the mirror, and then you have the camera swing around so that like you're still like almost then seeing it from the mirror's perspective, and you see his real face, and it's like his human face.
Yes, exactly.
So you're making it clear that everyone else in reality is seeing him, but he sees himself as the monkey.
But there's so many scenes in this movie that feel like in their original conception that they were that. Like there's another bit at the end where the ending of this movie got me, but to be fair, it's cheap. He's singing "My Way" by Frank Sinatra. Like "My Way" by Frank Sinatra gets me every time. For what is a man?
I know what "My Way." Yes. It's the only song that anyone ever knows when they think of Frank Sinatra.
Pretty much, yeah.
And I did it my way.
Yes, that song gets me every fucking time. So like he does a big like, "This is me reflecting on my career" thing that they always do at the end of these movies. And it got me. It legit got me. But like there's a moment where they do a close-up on his face that felt like at one point it was going to be like he turned back into a regular person. Like there's a bit at the beginning, like I said earlier, that it feels like they put this movie out and there was no explanation given for why he was a monkey, so they added in the line after a test screening of "This is how I see myself" to help the audience grapple with it. But yeah, so much of the performance of what is a good performance absolutely gets lost in it. And it was interesting because like I never heard of him. He's one of those artists where like one of the songs I kind of recognized a little bit. I was like, oh, I think I might have heard this on the radio. The thing with us, and it's a thing that's going to come back a couple times, is we grew up with the radio. I know a lot of you kids don't know what a radio is. So a lot
you used, instead of being able to put on whatever song you wanted, they have these things called radio stations, which your car and or radio would tune into, and a DJ would play the songs that were contemporary at the time, so you would listen to more than just the songs that you like and would get stuck listening to songs you didn't like as well.
And it helped you learn songs that you might not have otherwise known. So there's a couple of songs in this where I was like, I kind of vaguely recognize this. I think I might have heard it, and it might just be a situation where I didn't know the name of the guy who sung it. But, like, the music really didn't do much for me for most of this. His early stuff is a lot of boy bandy poppy shit, and it just wasn't like, this really isn't doing it. But he makes a transition later in his career. And it's very strange, because as he goes through the transitions in his career, it's represented by the monkey has different hair. So, like, at one point, the monkey is a brunette, and then in another scene the monkey is now bleach blonde for some reason. It's the stupidest thing, but
this movie sounds bad.
It's all that's the thing, right? For most of it I'm like, it's all right, but the second half of his career the music is good, like to the point that like one of his songs is now in my playlist, and I'm like, this is a good song. Like, this is legit. It's "Angels" by Robbie Williams. It's a good song. It's a good song, and Lord help me, I'm going to put some of it in this video if I can, if YouTube will let me. But it's a genuinely good song that, like, got me. I was like, oh, this is a good moment. And, like, the ending, there's an ending bit where he's singing with his dad. And you know me, Jordan. Dad shit gets me every single time.
Daddy issues.
Yep. So I've added it to your list. You're going to have to watch it. I'm interested to see how you feel. Because, yeah, it's just so fascinating to me. To me, it is one of the most ironic movies I've ever seen. Because it is so concerned. And he thinks, within this movie, if this movie is a reflection of self, he sees himself as being very, very famous. And it's just so interesting to me that he wasn't. Like, certainly he didn't have enough international fame to make this thing succeed. And it's not a bad movie. It's actually, as far as jukebox musical biopics go, pretty great. But there's the number one thing that where it lost me is the monkey of it all. I just think if they had gotten a really charismatic young man like they did, like I think just to compare this to not even just the Freddie Mercury movie, which I feel the same way about that, but the people wouldn't be nearly as forgiving of Rocket Man or Bohemian Rhapsody or Michael if they all didn't look like the guy.
I mean, yeah, but that's half the job of a biopic is looking like the guy.
I don't necessarily think that's true. I don't think you have to look like the guy. Like not identical anyway, but I think you do have to embody the spirit of the guy. Like I don't think you have to look.
Yeah, well, I mean,
like
you don't have to look 1-to-1 necessarily, but like it has to be a scenario where a person looks at you and goes like, "Yeah, that's him. That's the guy."
And I think if this had done that, if they had gotten a charismatic young man and they had making the efforts to, oh hey, this is Robbie Williams.
So like
would have
a good example for me. Sorry to interrupt, but for me, while I have it before I lose it,
yeah.
A good example for me of like, I don't know if he looks like the guy, but from what I hear, he sure acts like the guy. Is when Jim Carrey was Tony Clifton.
Yes, he doesn't look like the guy. He does,
but he sure as hell was acting like him.
Yes, he does. He does. Yes, yeah, that's a great example. Yes, he does not look like the guy, but he embodies the spirit of who that guy is. This is so. It's not even just that he's a monkey, which is distracting, but it's like he's a CGI monkey, and sometimes the CGI looks bad. There's just certain scenes where the CGI doesn't look good. And I just, if you had gotten somebody who kind of looked like Robbie Williams, because I've seen, because I've gotten so into the song Angel, I've watched a few of this, like the one I mentioned where he does the "Your ass is mine." Like he has so much energy as Rob, than the actual performance, so much character that is just getting lost when they do that bit in the movie by the fact that he's a monkey and he can't emote. And it's held back by that, but it's not bad. It's not a bad movie. But yeah, to me, it's one of the more ironic pieces I've watched because I was like, it's just funny that he's so insecure about his fame, and he came to North America, and nobody watched his movie. Anyway, that is not Nowhere Man, Better Man. That is Better Man.
Know me better, man.
Know me better, man. See, every time Jake would talk about Better Man, I would do that. I'd be like, know me better, man. Better Man.
Yes. Okay. So my next one is it's not a biopic. Okay, so before I talk about it, have you ever watched Purple Rain?
Purple Rain is a biopic.
No, it's not.
It's not a biopic. Isn't it about?
It's not a biopic.
Isn't it about Prince?
It's a fictional story. It's not a biopic.
Oh, okay, fair enough. No, I know Purple Rain because clearly I know who Prince is.
It's a thing. Basically, it's a movie that Prince basically went to his manager at the time and was like, "I will quit your label if we do not get this movie made." And
that sounds
Prince,
like Prince.
Prince had a few of the scenes written out. So I'm sure that there's things where it's like it's loosely based on.
It sounds like 8 Mile.
Probably.
That's what it
problem is I don't. My problem is I don't know enough about Prince to be able to say yes or no.
In the sense that like it's sort of quasi biographical, but not intentionally so.
Again, I don't know enough about
other than
Prince to be able to confirm that.
He sings songs that sound like Michael Jackson songs. That's just like there's been a few times where like that sounds like a Michael Jackson song, and I'm like, no, that's Prince. Oh, okay, fair enough.
So wait, but to go back, you said you haven't seen this movie?
No.
Guess what? It's on your list.
Great. Okay. I can do that. I'm gonna have to change my list for something. That's okay.
Because I need you to watch this, and there's 2 characters in particular, one of which is Prince, where like
Purple Rain.
I don't know how to say this in a they come across as gay.
Yeah, isn't Prince gay?
When I look up Prince, nope, he's apparently been married. He apparently is very known for being only ever dated women and only ever being into women.
But
it's all part of the act, apparently.
Okay. To be fair, hey man, maybe just have bad gaydar.
But there's him, And there's another character in this movie who is, I think, supposed to be like one of his rivals or something, who like his whole thing is like he's trying to steal away, and granted it's in a business sense, but like he's trying to steal away the character that Prince plays, who is not called Prince, but I'm gonna call him Prince.
But he's played by Prince.
He's played by
Oh,
Prince.
okay.
His character is like trying to make it with his band. Also, Morris Day is in this, and Apollonia, who are both people that he is known for working with
Oh, okay.
in real life. I only know that. Well, Apollonia I know is because I looked it up. Because so in the movie he has a girlfriend, or he gets a girlfriend who is named. Her name is Apollonia, a different last name. Who is played by Apollonia Cotero.
I don't know who that is.
She's the leader of a band called Apollonia 6, which Prince helped create.
Gotcha. I don't know what that is
and
either.
Then what?
Apollonia 6. I've never heard of it.
It's a band. I just said it's a band that Prince helped create.
I've never.
And so in this movie, the rival or the villain or whatever of Prince, offers Prince's character's girlfriend like a contract or whatever to work under his label, and then she takes the offer and becomes the band Apollonia 6.
Gotcha.
Which is a real band, which is played by her, which she's the main person of, and I think the people that were her bandmates in this are also her bandmates. So it's a lot of like, these are all real life things that have been taken and made into movie form.
Right.
If that makes any sense.
Yes, there's a name for that. That sounds an awful lot like similar to we're gonna talk about it later, but Dreamgirls does the same thing where it's like these are all real things, but their names have been changed slightly.
Names and things have been changed. And I mean, other than that, it's Prince's character has anger issues. His dad is abusive. He dies.
Does he do
Spoiler
drugs?
alert. Probably. I don't remember.
They always do drugs at one point.
I have to be honest. This movie was I think he does at one point. This movie was kind of one of the more forgettable ones, this movie is also a real example of your musical movie or movie about music or what have you. Lives or dies on whether or not you like the music in it.
Yeah, or can at least tolerate it.
And I'm gonna be honest, I don't think I'm a Prince fan.
No, I've never been a fan of Prince's music.
So it kind of made this a little bit of a slog.
I
Also,
really like Michael Jackson music.
Also, it's a 1984 movie, so you have that to look forward to.
Big Brother and whatnot. I get it.
Oh, I just more meant it's old as shit.
No, that was a joke about 1984. That book. Anyway,
like the filming, the way that it looked, it felt old as shit.
Fair enough.
Yeah, no, that's Purple Rain. You have that to look forward to in your future.
Oh, goody, that sounds fun.
Man, you could try and sound a little excited. Jeez. I'm gifting you with such great movies.
Jordan. No, my next one.
Bon Voix.
One day I'm going to convince Zach to come on here and explain the East Coast, West Coast rap rivalry to me, because I don't get it. But, so previously on this show, Jordan, previously on Spur of the Moment podcast, I talked about the movie Notorious, about the gangster rapper Notorious B.I.G.
Double G.
So this is about his friend, Tupac Shakur. Apparently that was his real name. I thought that for sure was a rap name. Hip-hop artist, civil rights icon from the 19-whatevers. He sang songs you would recognize, but I don't remember the names of. And he got shot in a gang-related drive-by shooting.
Shenanigans.
And it's funny because you were like, you ever watch a movie where like you watch the movie and then you watch another movie about the same people and now it's a different actor playing that person.
Yeah.
That happens in this with a bunch of people, but it's funny because this one brings back the guy who played Notorious. He played Notorious in the Notorious B.I.G. movie. They brought him back to be Notorious in this. And it's been a number of years since he's done it, and it's one of those performances where he's trying to redo a thing he did before, and it sounds like he's trying to redo the thing. So he gives Biggie Smalls like this weird vocal affect that he just didn't have in the movie that he played him in. It's very strange. But I don't really like any of the music, so. And unlike NWA or Notorious B.I.G., I don't know any of his music. Not really. Like, I know some of Big Papa's music, but I don't know Tupac's music too well. So the music really didn't do anything for me. This movie was kind of interesting in the sense that the Notorious movie really wanted you to get that Notorious was a tough guy and that he was a big bad dude. And that he lived on the streets and he was someone worthy of respect. This movie goes out of its way to be like, well, actually, Tupac was in fact very well spoken, and it really represents how the idea of code switching, of how depending on whether or not he's with the black gangster guys, like black gangster people kind of have their own language. Linguistically, and when he's with them he talks in their language, and when he's with like his parents or his mom or whoever, or like white people, he speaks a little bit more well spoken, and he swaps between the two. And there's a lot of points where like I'm not following this pretty easily. I understand what they're saying. It's nice and easy to follow. It's very strange because he when I was reading about him dying, I can't figure out what the beef is. Like this gets to the point in the West Coast East Coast rivalry where they're like shooting at each other and trying to kill each other. They're dissing each other in rap songs or whatever. And this is now the second movie I've watched of this conflict, and I still don't understand why they hate each other so much. Like there's a point
the Bloods and the Crips?
No, it's the Death Row label, which was the like,
and Slaughterhouse or whatever.
Yeah, something like that. And like there's a point where
the one that in the Eminem song, Eminem talks about it.
Yes, he talks about the conflict. Yes. He says he tries to stay out of it or whatever. Yes.
Yeah.
That conflict. So in this, there's a point where they're in Vegas and they run into one of the West Coast guys and they all beat him up. There's a point in the Notorious one where he can't go to the East Coast because if he does, he'll get jumped or. And I can't figure out what the conflict arises from, why they hate each other so much. You're all effectively doing the same thing, making the same kind of music. So like I don't get it.
I guess the idea.
I'd love to talk to an expert about it.
I guess the idea was that at that time in particular, rapping was kind of its origins, I guess, come from an extension of crime, and so even at that point, they were still kind of they were rival gangs.
Yeah, maybe.
With territory, I guess.
I guess. But like, this also hit that. There's a certain point.
And also, if we're being honest, there could have been, for all we know, if we're talking in the land of it could be anything. For all we know, those rappers were also doing stuff with drugs, and it was about drug territory.
They definitely were doing stuff with drugs, but.
So that's probably where most of the conflict came from.
This didn't start in. I mean, it does kind of start in Better Man, but I like that movie enough to forget it. But I hit a
Better
point.
Man.
I hit a point throughout. I don't know if you had a similar experience of. I don't feel sympathy for rich people, and I hate things that attempt to make me feel bad for the poor, lonely, rich person living in their ivory tower. And a lot of these movies are like that, where it's like, okay, yeah, they have the beginning parts of the movie where they're struggling, and it's them coming from the ground up, and they're working hard, and then it hits the point where they're rich. And you're supposed to feel bad for all the attention that they're getting and all the negative consequences, and there's all these problems that they come up with that could easily be solved with money, like you don't. I'm tired of trying to be like, oh, feel bad for me. I have millions of dollars. I don't feel bad for you, and this kind of does that a little bit, where like he goes on the road and he like repeatedly cheats on his wife and like does a bunch of drugs, and it's like. Ugh. I wasn't sick of it yet, but there will hit a point where I'm like, oh, Honestly, it's the Bob Dylan movie. When we talk about the Bob Dylan movie, that movie made me roll my eyes.
For me,
He looks like. Oh, the other thing is he looks like Tupac. Like that's another thing. It's quite remarkable how much he looks like Tupac. Like that is impressive. I will give it that. Sorry, you're about to say something.
For me,
I
and this is just our
keep turning on the fan. Sorry.
Our brains work differently. And this is kind of just an example of that for me, where, and I think I've said this before, for me, when it comes to watching a biopic, I'm not watching the real person.
Sure,
right?
But I don't.
So just hold on. Let me get through my rambly statement, and then you can rebuff. I don't see like what I'm seeing on the screen. For example, with my next one, Rocket Man, right? The character that I'm watching is the character of Elton John. That's not really Elton John. Do I feel all the same feelings for Elton, like real world Elton John, that I feel for this character?
That's funny. Put a pin
what
in
I
that.
what I feel is different for the characters on screen than it is for the real people. The characters on screen, they've rounded their edges and made them more likable. So like, yeah, the part of me that likes a good character kind of is rooting for them, and wants them to succeed. But when I'm looking at it and I'm going like, okay, but this was the real Elton John. How do I feel about him? I feel less. I do in the human nature of I feel bad for everybody. I feel I can feel empathy for them, but I feel less empathy for rich person who can afford to have like 99% of their problems solved with money. I feel a lot less empathy for that person than I do Dave, who's homeless, living out of his car down the street because taxes are so high and we can't afford to live. Like, no, I don't feel bad for Elton John in the same way that I do for Tom down the street.
Right?
But like,
I
feel bad for him?
Like famous. Oh, I weep for you.
Do I feel like the smallest amount of empathy for him? Yeah, sure, of course. That sucks for him. Sure. Objectively, that sucks for him. I guess I feel bad for you, but like you can afford to hire the best people to take care of you and solve the problem for you. So fuck off.
It's different. It's different. Like this movie, the Tupac movie, is somebody else making a movie about Tupac based on a book or whatever. That's kind of different. This isn't trying to make you. This does that a little bit. We're gonna get to Rocket Man. Put a pin in that. I don't feel that Rocket Man demands sympathy for Elton John. If anything,
it was just an example.
But like a lot of these movies, particularly when they're made by the people who knew him or liked him or loved him, or her in one case, her.
Like Bohemian Rhapsody
or Michael, or in my case, the one about Amy Winehouse. And they have a distinct motivation to make these people look good.
To soften the edges.
But yeah, no, I can't stand. It's the same thing. The reason why I don't like The Crown. I can't stand shit where it's rich people like it's rich people trying to make themselves appear like they're like you. Like so many times in these movies, you have moments where it's unrealistic because the movie wants you to be like, oh no, this is the point in their career where they're really famous, but for some reason can still go to the supermarket. And you're like, but no, that's not real. That's not realistic.
Yeah.
You're not like me. Famous rich person.
I guess my thing is like I don't mind when we get the movies where it's like we see the troubles that they face, the actual troubles, the things that make their lives different or difficult or like unpleasant. Right. I don't mind when they show that. But you're right. It gets a little bit exasperating when it's like, oh yeah, sure, you go buy your own groceries. I really believe that.
Oh yeah, I'm sure you famous person goes to the supermarket. No,
you don't.
No, you don't.
You pay someone to do it for you.
There's a scene
you can't do it because you'll cause a fucking mob every time you go out.
Yeah,
fuck off.
We're not there yet in the week where that kind of shit gets fucking annoying. But this is where it kind of begins. It didn't happen so much in Better Man, but to be fair, when I'm doing a singularly themed thing, it tends to not happen at the beginning of the week. But this was the point where I went, this was a lot of these problems you have are self-inflicted. Like there's always a guy who gives them drugs for some reason. Like Like,
because they're rich.
right. Anyway, we're gonna get to the rich people and drugs.
I don't
later.
know. Maybe rich person who's watching this for some reason, educate me about your life and how it's easy for
Yeah.
you to fall into drugs
make
because
me,
you're rich.
Make me believe that your life is worse than mine. I
Or
just
more,
don't-
not even worse. That's not the right word. More difficult.
Right. Anyway,
Because sure, your life might be worse, but I guarantee you it's a hell of a lot
I don't
easier.
know.
Anyways,
Anyway,
is that it for your
that's it.
not
for
better man?
All eyes with a Z, George. It's eyes with a Z on me. The Tupac movie. Rocket Man.
Okay. Yeah, that's the next one. How
See-
did you know?
Rocket Man, because you said my next one is Rocket Man. Now, Rocket Man, in my opinion, does not attempt to make you feel sympathetic for Elton John at all. And that's why I respect this movie. It makes him look like he's an absolute prick. And not only does it make him look like he's an absolute prick, it implies that this movie is making him seem like he's not, like implies that in real life he's way more of a prick than this movie makes him seem. But like from the beginning of that movie, he's a prick. Like the drugs that's the thing about drugs is drugs don't magically turn you into a person you're not. They bring out the parts of you that were already bad.
They can.
No, they
but-
just exasperate the problems that you already have and they make them worse. So in his case, he was a narcissistic asshole, and it made him into even more of a narcissist. That's what it did.
Pretty much. You pretty much summed up this entire movie. I guess I can go home now, eh? You know,
Okay, here I want to ask you questions about this because it's more interesting.
yeah, that'll make it more.
Yes, we've technically already talked about this. So my question number one: did you find that it needs to pick a lane?
Real quick, future Justin, cut in what Justin previously said.
It's probably too long. I'll try. I might.
No. Cut it right here.
Right there. Well, we'll leave the space there because I don't actually know what I'm going to do this week. But
you have questions.
Did you find that it's too much? It couldn't decide whether it wanted to be a biopic or a jukebox musical.
I think that it knew that it was an Elton John product, and it knew it had to have the hits. I think that it was gonna make that work no matter what. That was the goal. That was the thing that it knew was gonna. Rocket Man was in the title. It had to have Rocket Man.
It's just like for me,
I get what you're saying.
Okay. I just wanted to know if you got what I was saying. Okay.
At least I think I do.
Like there's too many scenes where it's trying to be high drama, but then the next scene is a fantasy sequence where he's singing Rocket Man and he's drowning in a pool, and it's like you need to pick a lane. You're either the serious biopic or you're the jukebox musical. You cannot be both. It just doesn't work. It doesn't work for me. But I was curious if you found
I think now looking at the years when this one and Bohemian Rhapsody came out, this wanted to be Bohemian Rhapsody.
Oh, see that's where I can see why you say that, but I disagree that it's Shrek because it's not being enough. Like, 'cause to me, Bohemian Rhapsody is a straight biopic. That's what I mean. It maybe wants to be Bohemian Rhapsody, but also wants to be across the universe. Like it really wants to be across the universe, and I just don't think it gets too distracted away from telling Reginald's real life story to do weird fantasy sequences. And it was like, oh hey, there's nothing wrong with doing a weird fantasy jukebox musical, but that's what you needed to do then.
Yeah, now that you compared it to Across the Universe, yeah, I guess that I would say that this is kind of how do I word this? This is Elton John's life by way of Across the Universe.
Yeah, like there's like for example, like there's a lot of moments in this where
if that makes sense.
No, it totally does. Like because there's like a lot of moments in this, like very similar to Better Man. That's why this reminded me a lot of Better Man, because Better Man is similar to this where because he's a monkey, there's a lot of the musical numbers that are just
esoteric.
Yeah, there's fantasy sequences, like he's dancing down the street in the rain with a bunch of guys. Like similar thing to here, where it's like like the one my favorite bit in this movie is where he's I think he's yelling at the guy. It's when he does he's doing Rocket Man and he comes out and he's got the baseball bat and he's all robotic. Like I love that's my favorite
Yeah,
shot.
I guess for me, the reason why
just real quick, that's based on a real performance that he did, but he didn't play. I know that might have been Crocodile Rock that happens, but he didn't play the song that he played in the movie there. So it adds that level of surrealism where it's like it's not real,
Yeah, well, I was just gonna say,
non-diegetic, as it were.
I was just gonna say that the scenes where like it goes into the weird dreamy sequence as you kind of put it. I kind of interpret that it like, you know what I mean, right?
Yeah. It's supposed to be him on drugs.
When
I
it
think it's supposed to be.
well, either the drugs or like just the like the I don't know how to word it exactly, but like, you know, the artistic haze that you kind of can get into when you're playing the music. I think it's supposed to be like the visual representation of
that stuff is great. Like I like the jukebox musical parts of it, but my point is just it's at odds with the fact that it wants to be a serious biopic and let Taron Egerton do serious biopic acting. And
he does a fantastic job.
He's
though.
really good in this. Like I cannot stress enough how much he looks like Elton John.
Like
from
my
the 70s.
God, he's so good.
It's crazy. Like it's crazy, and the fact that he got this off of a fucking cartoon gorilla is the funniest anecdote ever. Like
great.
He's friends with Elton John now because of one voice acting role he did. Like that's hilarious. Yeah, I don't like the orchestration of the version of I'm Still Standing in this, but the fact that it looks like the original music video is still cool. Like that's the fact that they've superimposed him into it is great. That's great.
And I mean they've got a lot of the songs of Elton John songs.
You can be entirely platonic friend. Yeah, and this is an example of the more you like the music of a performer. Like this movie made me realize I like way more Elton John songs than I thought. Also, this is another example of like I didn't realize X song was an Elton John song. So like I didn't realize yours for many years. I didn't know that your song was an Elton John song.
So I'm just reading a not entirely surprising thing where prior to it coming out, Paramount Pictures was pressuring the director and producer to cut the sex scene between Taron Egerton and Richard Madden.
See,
and I'm just like, that's not shocking.
It's funny you brought that up. I guess it's just the rest of the movie stands out to me so much more. I don't remember that really being a thing in that, but no, yeah.
Oh, it was definitely a thing.
Yeah, Elton John, he liked bums.
There was a whole censorship issue over
Likes
it.
Bums? Continues to like bums? But yeah, the reason why Elton...
it's one of that scene was one of those where I was like, I honestly, I kind of tend to agree with the censorship in that, where I'm like, I don't really think it's needed, but like also having a sex scene or like having a movie about famously gay man Elton John and not having a sex scene, I would... Like, I wasn't shocked that it was there.
It feels like it exists to... Elton John has like it's not like a younger audience, sort of younger aged audience, so like it is a little odd that you would do a lot of his music and a lot of his performance is very cartoon like. So yeah, to do again Across the Universe where it's PG, it's a bit trippy but it's still mostly PG. I would understand the want for the studio to do that because that's what they thought that demographic, that's the word I'm looking for. That's what they thought Elton John's demographic was. But I think that scene exists to answer the accusation that Bohemian Rhapsody was sanitized. And I think Elton John went, I don't want to be sanitized. I'm not sanitized. I'm a sassy bitch. And chose to do it anyway. I think that's why it's there. If you want to argue it's a necessariness. I think it's there to be like, we can be hard-edged, but like to have that be... It'd be like having boobs in the middle of Mamma Mia, where you're like, it just doesn't feel like this.
It doesn't feel like the place.
This doesn't feel like the genre for this. But that's where I'm like, that feels like it's from that serious biopic that we talked about earlier. That is at odds with the jukebox musical. So I think that is at odds with the jukebox musical. I don't disagree with you on that. But yeah, I love this movie. This movie is good. It's not one of my favorite jukebox musicals.
Yeah, I really enjoyed it. It's not necessarily one of my favorites, but I like. Again, it comes down to how much you like whatever the songs are on it, and I like a lot of Elton John songs.
But like, not to go back to Better Man, but what I liked about that one is I like a musical that makes you fall in love with some of the music. Like when you're like, oh yeah, I'm getting into this music based on this movie, so I like that a little bit more than just being like, oh, I feel like I'm watching a concert. So like, I think that both things can be true.
Both things can be true.
Yeah. It's like it's hard to deny that when I'm sitting there being like, I like Crocodile Rock, and it's a fun, weird movie.
Like
and
it's nice tune to bop your head to. But like,
honestly, it reminds me
there
a
is
lot
something
of,
there is something to be said about like experiencing a musical or a play or whatever for the first time, and like discovering you've now discovered that song that's new that you didn't know before, but you do know now, like Waving Through a Window.
Exactly. But then the movie turns out to be really, really bad.
No, we're talking about the musical.
The musical, in retrospect, is probably bad. No, I'm kidding. Jordan, is that it for Rocket Man? Unless you have anything else.
Rocket Man.
But my next one, Jordan, is about. Jordan, are you familiar with the artist known as Bob Dylan?
Not by name.
Oh, this is awkward. I thought for sure you know who Bob Dylan was. This is
I need to know what song that he's done.
This is a complete unknown. Run the trailer. Maybe don't run the trailer. Who knows? We don't know. Bob Dylan sang "The Times They Are a-Changin'."
Oh,
the times they are a-changin'.
Yeah, I would never have guessed that by name.
I don't know the words beyond that. Okay.
Justin, if you keep singing music, you're gonna get us copyright stricken.
No, I'm not singing it well enough for that. It's just what's that awful screeching sound? So Bob Dylan, a couple of times this week. Ray Charles was also similar. Where, again, back to the radio thing. Just because we listen to a lot of random music over the years by various people, different things, we're old enough that you've heard Bob Dylan songs. He's one of those artists where you've heard music of his. I don't know the names well enough to tell you any of their names or show them to you, but there's just a couple of songs in this where I went, oh, I've got you, babe. I've got you, babe, is what you, babe.
I got you,
I've
babe.
got you, babe. Apparently that's one of his.
I got you,
but there's
babe.
a couple songs in this where I went, oh, okay, I know this song. And this is another example. This was kind of similar to me to his life is same deal. There's a love. He's got a wife. He cheats on her. Drugs. Same deal. But this is basically about his career during like the 1960s to a particular music festival, and much like poetry and Dead Poets Society, they kind of sort of forget culturally that folk music was rebellious at one point, that people actually used to listen to lyrics and not just music, and that there was protest songs, and like sometimes music could be as powerful as a person with just a guitar and a harmonica. And
yeah, I mean that's the whole joke with Lisa Simpson at the power plant singing about the people and the,
And so it's kind of forget that like a lot of Bob Dylan's music is meant to be like rebellious and powerful, and it's like the times they are changing is meant to be a political statement. You kind of just forget about that. But he's like, he reminded me a lot of like Kurt Cobain in this movie. I can't speak. So this is one of those obviously big difference between character in the movie and the real life person. But this movie makes Bob Dylan look like he's a pretentious douche. Like just an absolute up his own asshole douchebag, where like he refuses. Like the girl's like, I don't know anything about you, man. I don't know anything about your history or where you came from. It's like, oh, the history doesn't matter, man. It's all about the now and here and now, and focusing on the past is too much, man. At one point, he refuses to play the hits, so he shows up at concerts and he only wants to play the new stuff. He doesn't want to play any of the old stuff. And he's like, I feel like when people ask me to play this song, that they're not asking me to play the song because they want to hear the song, but because they wish they had written the song. And I'm like, oh my God, you're such a douche. And he's like, oh, I want to be
sounds like a hippie.
I want to be able to focus on the art of it. And it's like, yeah, like it's this really frustrating bit of he starts to become successful. And he feels trapped in success, just like Kurt Cobain did. He feels trapped in success. And he only cares about making music for the art, man. And it's like he's just completely ignoring the fact that the real Bob Dylan probably did care at least a little bit about the commercial nature of his art form, because they all do, because you have to. Like you can't walk through life not being a little bit concerned about the money. Like no human person is like, oh man, no, yeah, I'm just doing it for the art, man. No, that's not. This makes him look like it. But then it's funny because then I was reading about Bob Dylan, and it sounds like sure as shit. No, he was just a massive douche is. And another thing I learned that blew my mind is, you don't know who Bob Dylan is, so this is gonna blow your mind less. But I thought he was dead. I had like a weird Mandela effect memory where I remember everyone being sad about the fact that Bob Dylan died, but he's in his like 80s. He's still alive. That blew my mind.
Maybe you're thinking of Chuck Norris.
Chuck Norris did die. No. I remember everyone went through a phase where we all played his music a bunch. Like I have a weird. It's a weird Mandela effect memory I have where I remember. That's all that's the negative stuff about him as a character. It's otherwise kind of, for me, it's gonna live or die on how much you like folk music, because there's just really long scenes of people playing folk music. Do you like the times they are changing? Because there's a very long sequence where he plays the times they are changing. And Timothy Chalamet, who plays Bob Dylan, won an Oscar for this. It's well deserved. He's kind of phenomenal as Bob Dylan. Like, if you're at all familiar with Bob Dylan at all, which you are, like he sounds just like Bob Dylan. It is uncanny, and that will do a lot to sell a performance when they sound like him. And he does sound a lot like Bob Dylan. Like, the singing performances are kind of incredible. And the bit about you being like, other actor, same person you recognize from real life, whatever. Johnny Cash shows up at one point in this movie as an influence on Bob Dylan, because the whole big thing is Bob Dylan wanted to move in a direction of playing electric, and that was controversial in the folk music space. He wasn't allowed to do that, and Johnny Cash apparently in real life and in this movie was like, fuck them, do it, play electric. But he shows up in this and he sings a Johnny Cash song, and it's not as good as Joaquin Phoenix.
Oh yeah.
It's just not as good. It's just like, this is not as good. Joaquin Phoenix did this way better. Like, sang this song better performance. Like, he didn't look like Johnny Cash, but he was nailing the spirit and the performance and the singing to a degree that you could ignore the fact that he didn't look like him. This guy looked more like Johnny Cash, but the performance of the songs, he just didn't sing it as well. That's kind of what makes watching biopics kind of interesting. You start to see kind of a cross section of, and yeah, this is
different interpretations of the same character, if you will.
He gets rich and he tries to pretend he's a man of the people, and it's really obnoxious. That's it. That's a complete unknown. I didn't hate it, but it was kind of dull for me. It wasn't like high energy enough for me. Another one of those, if you really like Bob Dylan, you're gonna really dig this. I imagine you're gonna say the same thing about your Bob Marley movie.
Yeah, but it's not time yet.
No.
First, we are going to talk about The Soloist.
Oh yeah, I want to watch this movie.
I swear to God, we already did.
Nope.
Because I've seen this.
Really? No, I've never seen it. Certainly, it could be what. Here's what I
would say. It came out in 2009, and I absolutely remember watching this with our friend in the theater.
No, God, no, definitely didn't watch it in the theater. I could say, I could maybe believe that maybe watched it on VHS or DVD once, but
2009 would have been DVD.
I have no memory of it. I remember trailers. I know what the movie's basically about. I know that it's Robert Downey Jr. and Jamie Foxx is in a lot of movies this week, like a lot. But I know it's Jamie Foxx and it's Robert Downey Jr. and he's like a violinist or something.
Yeah. So he's a violinist who was. This is based on a true story.
Oh yeah, and Robert Downey Jr. he's like a newspaper guy or something.
He's a newspaper guy who finds the Jamie Foxx's character on the side of the road playing an instrument, violin, I think it is. And so he's like, I've got nothing else to write a story about. And so he starts looking into him. You find out that Jamie Foxx was originally in some university. I think it was UBC or HOV, or I don't remember. Something famous and prestigious that I should know.
Famous school.
Yeah. Anyways, he was in it. Juilliard. It was at Juilliard.
Oh yes, that's a very famous.
And he dropped out and was like obsessed with his music, and so then in the movie you find out that he's got schizophrenia. And it's this really sweet movie, and he helps him, and he's really good at the music.
All right.
And it's just really Yeah, I could swear you've seen it, but if you haven't, then I won't give it away in case you ever want to watch it yourself and experience it the first
I'm
time.
guessing
But
Jamie Foxx dies.
no,
Oh. I'm guessing Robert Downey Jr. dies.
no.
Oh. I'm guessing
From what I
they
remember,
both died in a fiery plane crash together.
no, no. From what I understand, the guy that Jamie Foxx played went on to be a member of the community of like helping the people of LA and stuff like that.
Oh, good for him.
And the other guy continued to be a reporter.
Oh, good for him.
But yeah, no, it's Soloist. Solid movie.
Pretty good movie.
And it proves that not all of my stuff about musicians are about pop stars, rock stars, things like that. Some of them are classical music lists.
Yeah, so hey, I got a couple musicals on mine. So
You know, also the first one I started with, Whiplash, he was technically a jazz band, so
yeah, it's true. It's true, yeah. Yeah, no. Yeah, not all of mine are about real people.
also
I
yeah,
had to take a break in the middle of the ones about real people because it was getting
my
exhausting.
my next one, by the way, just to jump ahead, I, I'm aware I watched it, but I've retained very little, which I feel like is appropriate for the subject.
That's fair. That's fair. Joe, my next one is: have you heard of a man named Ray Charles? This is Ray. Ray Charles is a jazz piano musician from the 50s and 60s who was black.
Yeah, yeah. I think you've mentioned him before.
He's another one of those ones where the only song I know of his that you would know is "Hit the Road, Jack." Hit the road, Jack. Don't you come
Don't
back
you come
no
back no
more.
more, no
Yeah.
more, no more, no more. Hit the road, Jack.
He wrote that song.
Don't you come back no more.
And then there was at least like there was at least two or three more songs that I was like, oh yeah, you know this, you've heard this, you just wouldn't know it by name or who sung it, but it's one of those songs. He's one of those guys where he's been around a long time. And the interesting thing to me about this is, I don't know, I'm sure this is ableist. I'm sure it is, but I've been guilty of in my youth of. You tend to, when you see, I saw a stand-up comedian who kind of said this, where you tend to paint all disability with a brush, one single brush. You tend to be like, oh, well, he's blind, and when he plays, he seems like he's a decent guy, so clearly he's a good guy, and like, just because he's blind, it doesn't make him a good guy. Like, the movie opens with he takes advantage of a bus driver to making him feel sympathy for him to get him to drive him into town. But Ray Charles liked two things, Jordan. He liked women and heroin.
Women and heroin?
And sometimes at the same time.
Well, one of those two things.
Sometimes he would do heroin after having just laid with a woman.
I mean,
But
nothing wrong with laying. Nothing wrong with laying with a woman.
I mean, in his case, it was because he was married.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. No, that's a problem.
This is extramaritally. He would have his he would have his relations.
Yeah. Okay.
He'd have his relations on the road, and then it has that classic scene where the relations on the road shows up when he's with his wife, and she phones him. He's like, "I'm with my wife. I can't talk to you now. You know not to call me when I'm with my wife." It does that thing. A couple of these movies do an uncomfortably imply that black men can't remain faithful. It does that kind of racist thing of, oh, he's black and black men can't remain faithful. But it tries to dress it up and disguise it by being like, but it's because he's a musician. There's a couple of these movies that do that. But I mean, he wasn't all bad. He wouldn't let the girl he's cheating on his wife with do heroin with him. I mean, she eventually dies of an overdose of heroin. But he like, she goes to like, I want to do drugs with you, and he's like, no. If I ever catch you doing drugs, you will be in so much trouble. But he says it meaner and with worse language.
I understand.
Yeah, no. And I think Jamie Foxx won Jamie Foxx plays Ray Charles. I think he either got nominated or won an Oscar for this. His performance is incredible. I'm making fun, but he looks just like Ray Charles. He acts just like Ray Charles. Like, I've seen clips of Ray Charles perform, and it's pretty spot on. He apparently does the singing as well, as he sings just like Ray Charles. It once again, yeah, same deal. Does that thing where he gets rich, and the movie tries to be like, being rich is hard. And I think that's it. I think that's all I had to say about Ray. Yeah. Like I liked heroin. Oh, that was the thing. Is like yeah, he's rich. So he managed to be on heroin for 17 years because he was rich enough that he could afford to be on heroin. And the only reason why he had to stop is because the only reason why he stops is because it becomes a problem for the white man. Like no word of a lie. Like he's doing it for like the whole movie, and apparently in real life he did it for 17 years. And in the movie, I cannot speak to real life. The only reason why he's forced to stop doing heroin is because all of the white people in his life make him stop. Like you're becoming a problem to us. You're doing like the heroin addict twitch. You're scratching up yourself up. You look haggard and rough. You need to stop doing heroin. But prior to that point, they don't care that nobody cares that he's doing heroin for 17 years. It isn't until the white man takes issue with it.
I don't know how to respond to that. My brain is not capable of thinking of a response, so I'm just gonna smile and nod until we awkwardly move on to the next subject.
That's Ray. You can move on now.
Oh, okay. So I don't have a lot to say about this. These things ride or die on your interest level about the particular person you're watching a movie about. I kind of just needed to fill a slot. This is Bob Marley, One Love.
One love, one. Let's get together.
Together and be alright.
I see. That's funny. I actually do want to watch this movie because Bob Marley is. I mean, if you're paying attention, he's an interesting guy. Like him being Rastafarian and Jamaican kind of gets reduced in the zeitgeist and in pop culture. But like he was majorly involved in like a political conflict in Jamaica.
Yeah, that's what this is about.
Yeah, that's what this movie is about. Like he was like a rebel. Like he was like kind of a big deal. And like
absolutely he was.
A lot of his pop culture influence gets reduced to he liked being high and he has tropical sounding music.
He was a hippie.
Yeah, because when this movie came out, I was reading about it because I was interested in it. So I do actually want to see it. I do want to watch it. I suspect.
Well, you know what? Let's make your dream come true. Add it to your list.
All right. Because like it's
I'll be nice.
What is it?
I'll give you. This is Bob Marley, One Love.
One Love.
I'll give you one of the ones that you actually want.
I do actually want to watch this.
And then maybe you'll show me some mercy.
Hey, you've got some good shit. I mean, one of the movies is Muppets Take Manhattan.
Okay. All right. But
he wasn't. Yeah, he's a little bit. That's the thing with a lot of these people is like, they tend. A lot of them don't focus enough on. We don't have enough biopics on interesting people who people don't know enough about. And I didn't know that much about Bob Marley. It's funny when I saw Marley on your list, I didn't realize it was Bob Marley. It was the first version of your list. I was like, how is Marley and Me? What does that have to do with music?
No. Definitely Bob Marley, One Love. There's another one. I don't know if it's a biopic or what it is, but it's called Marley. But it's got his face.
But it's still about Bob Marley.
But it wasn't on anything, and I needed one of them to be on streaming, so this got nominated instead.
Fair enough.
I don't know. Bob Marley's always been one of those ones where it's like I like some of his songs. I never really thought about who sang them.
No, I know, right? There's just certain ones of these guys were like, oh yeah, that Bob Dylan, I had kind of a similar effect. That's why I comparing the two Bobs, you know. But I had a similar effect to this, where it was like, I'm aware that there's a person behind the music who sang the song that I know, but I never put much thought to who it was or who they were. And so why I'm so interested in the Beatles movies, because like it's similar effect where I'm like, yeah, I don't know enough about, but Bob Marley in particular is a fascinating guy.
So I just more mean in this instance though, like there's a couple points where he's kind of a dick.
Yeah.
And so it's like, I don't know if that's accurate or not. I don't know if he was a dick.
Yeah. Well, a lot of people just assume, you make good music, that must mean you're a good person. But no, not always. Sometimes.
Not always.
I saw a video where the person was, all artists are bad people. And this is an example I could believe. Yeah, I could believe that he would have been.
That he wasn't the saint that people made him
No.
out to
Oh,
be.
what years does this take place? Then I promise we'll move on. But I'm just curious.
It starts in 1976.
Oh, okay, so he's a black man in Jamaica in the 1970s? Okay,
Yeah.
yeah, I could see perhaps him being a little rough around the edges.
Yeah, it looks like it ends around
People in the
1978.
1970s didn't exactly treat women with the utmost respect.
Yeah, well, yeah. So yeah.
But like, is it that like that again, that hacky cliche of a he's cheats
Says
on
that
his wife
it's-
while he's on the road kind of type of story?
Says that it's from his rise to fame in the mid 1970s to his death in 1981.
Oh, okay. Oh, so he dies in this.
Yeah, I believe at the end,
Does it end
or
with his death?
near the end, you find out that he got the. I don't remember what it was.
Yeah, see, that's another thing that drives me crazy about these movies is so many of them end before it gets
it
to the
was-
interesting shit.
It was a rare. He was diagnosed with a rare skin cancer
Oh, interesting. Yeah, that's
and
the thing
dies from it.
that drives me crazy. Did this one end on a wall of text?
Yes, I believe so.
The Tupac one drove me crazy because like the Tupac one ends with him getting shot.
All I know is that he dies. He died tragically young.
Yeah, the Tupac
He died.
one.
He was. You're 36.
Yeah.
So was he when he died.
Oh, that's too bad. But no, when the Tupac one, he died. Like he gets shot, and then the text says, "Oh, he dies," and he died, whatever. But then when you read about it, it's like there's a whole sequence of he goes to the hospital, she stays with him, and like, all these scenes that would have made for a great movie, but this movie ends well before any of that shit. It's super weird. This sounds like it's the same thing where it ends because it wants to end on an up note, but it knows that the person in real life died, so it has to have the wall of text to be the bummer.
So yeah, we'll see what you have to say when you get to it.
We'll see.
I don't have much more to say about this one. It's one of those ones where it was like, it wasn't bad, it wasn't good. I mean, maybe that does make it bad, but this didn't really make me feel anything.
No, yeah. If you don't feel anything, that's almost worse than feeling angry about a thing. I just kind of see. So okay, my next one, Jordan. My next one.
And that's my last rapid fire, by the way.
Is a movie called Back to Black, which is named after Amy Winehouse's second album, and is about the star Amy Winehouse. Which you said you hadn't heard that song, but I'm that surprises me because like she's from that era of
I didn't say I hadn't heard it. I said I didn't recognize it. That doesn't mean that we both know I have a notoriously bad memory.
That's true. But she was very much a top 40 type of artist. So if we were listening to the radio, you would have heard like at least one of her songs.
Probably, but it probably was one of those. Sorry, it was probably one of those ones where like there was a lot of songs that were on at the time, and I didn't necessarily pay attention to them all. This is a really
egregious example of like trying to take someone who sounds like they were kind of a bad person and makes them seem like they were actually they were really nice, because like from what I could read, and to be fair, a lot of this is secondhand and anecdotal and it's on Wikipedia articles, so like I'm casting aspersions on a person who tragically passed away, but according to the internet, her favorite thing to do is get drunk and beat people up. She got arrested so many times for getting drunk and beating people up, and this movie reduces that to she just has a temper. I just have a temper. And like there's a lot of the sequences of like her beating up her husband, boyfriend, or whatever. And then like there's a scene where she runs into a little girl who's like, "Are you Amy Winehouse?" And she's like, "Yeah," and she's acting all nice and like, "I want kids," but you're like, "But you are really, really destructive, and you having kids would be a tremendously terrible idea." And there's a bit where she's phoned her dad to tell her who is enabling her. He's an enabler, but he's phoned him to tell her that she's getting married, and like, "Oh, we're out at the zoo," and they're out at the zoo, but this is at the point where she's released her first album, and she's already famous, and they're just walking around. Yeah, so like
she would be swarmed.
Pretty much, she'd be swarmed. Like, there's no way she could be at the zoo. And it's trying to do that, like, she's rich and famous, but she's still like you and hangs out in a house. You're like, she lives in a regular house, and you're like, she's rich and famous at this point.
She would be in a mansion.
Right, and it doesn't want to have the person look bad, so it skips over all the bits and doesn't show any of it. The Smashing Machine was very similar to this, where it doesn't show any of the bits of her actually doing drugs. It just shows all the end results of her doing drugs, and the movie ends basically kind of hopefully being like, oh, she's going to rehab. She's gonna get clean. She's gonna stop drinking, and the movie just kind of stops, and then there's just a wall of text that's like, Amy Winehouse died at the age of 27. So it's like, well, this entire movie makes it seem like her life is about to be on the upswing, but it's not. It's very strange. Again, it's softening the edges of this person who was way more complicated than this, and like way more interesting than this. And to be fair, the contemporary reviews of this were very much the same way of like, oh, it's just kind of a by the numbers biopic with nothing really all that interesting to say about this person who was maybe more complicated than this. And it's like, I just didn't. I'm not a fan of her music, so it just wasn't doing it. I wasn't getting enraptured. I discovered this is going to come back, but I discovered that I can become enraptured with something and not care for the music. that can happen. It happened this week. But I was like, I'm not into Amy Winehouse, and this is just kind of making what seems like a not very nice person into a nice person. But anyway, tragic that she died at the age of 27. R.I.P. to Amy Winehouse. That's it. That's Back to Black. That's my final rapid fire. Moving right along.
So, my first have seen is the technically biographical, I guess, in nature, Bohemian Rhapsody.
You think that people are going to sit around in a car and bop their heads to Bohemian Rhapsody? It's crazy.
Yes.
In a movie where a guy who looks like me will be in it, in a bad wig. Yeah, this is speaking of by the numbers biopics. This is about as by the numbers as it could possibly get. I think I have a Facebook status somewhere that was like, you can play biopic. My mother got really offended when I said that this was really by the numbers, but it's like you could literally play like biopic bingo, where you're like, oh, does he have a disapproving father figure? Yup. Does he do it? Does he have a drug problem? Oh no, yeah, absolutely. An illicit love affair? No, yeah, you better believe. Does he cheat on his wife a bunch? Oh, yep, he sure does.
Goes solo and leaves his band behind. Bingo.
Do they reconcile in the middle where there's a really emotional scene where they all play together again?
Yahtzee.
Better believe there is.
But also, it works, and I like it.
It's one of those. I think it's gonna work for you. It's exactly the same as a lot of these, where because it's by the numbers.
It's going to depend on how much you like the music.
It's going to entirely depend on how much you like Queen. It's like I think we watched this. We did watch in theaters, and
yes, I believe so.
The number one thing I remember saying coming out of it was because everyone said it was phenomenal, and that was one of those times where it can't be that good, and the number one thing is like. I remember feeling the most is just when it's doing the Live Aid concert, and you're like, is this a good movie, or is this just thing I recognize?
And can that make it a good movie?
And we always say that like
sometimes the thing can just be thing you recognize, and that can be good.
Yeah, and then like the thing you recognize is not exclusive to the superhero genre. It can happen in other areas too.
No, yeah. Like technically, that's why the Michael Bay Transformers movies fail, is because they are not thing you recognize.
Exactly, yeah. And then you've got Freddie Mercury, and you know he's dying by the end of this because he no longer has his iconic mustache.
Plus there's the whole scene where you find out that he's dying.
No, but that's how you know, because when he was dying, Freddie Mercury, he sheds his power mustache.
Okay, all right.
Jordan, there was one thing that did upset me about this movie. Right. There's not enough origin devoted to the mustache. The mustache is an iconic bit of Freddy's iconography, Jordan. Like, there's a great deal of time...
I thought you were going to say something completely different.
Well, there's a great deal of time devoted to the fact that he's got buck teeth. Like, I think there's more than one joke about his teeth, right?
There's in the beginning, there's a few, and then it kind of stops.
But like, there's no deference paid to the iconic mustache, the incredibly gay mustache.
No, I think they all chose to ignore that one, Justin.
Jordan, it's a gay mustache. Not that there's anything wrong with it being a gay mustache, but it's a gay mustache.
Apparently, originally at one point, Sacha Baron Cohen was going to be Mercury.
Yes, there's a very funny clip. It's my favorite clip in regards to this movie. I was gonna bring it up when we talked about Brian May doing He-Man, but there's a very funny clip of him on Howard Stern. Howard Stern asking him about the fact that he was supposed to do. I don't know if it was specifically this movie, but it was certainly a version of this movie because Sacha Baron Cohen wanted to really really focus on the partying part of Freddie Mercury's lifestyle, the gay parties and the all that. And apparently the rest of Queen went, and what are you gonna do afterwards? And he went, afterwards? What do you mean? After Freddie dies. What do you mean after Freddie dies? There is no after Freddie dies. No one gives a shit about after Freddie dies, and that's why he got kicked off of the movie. What about afterwards? What do you mean after? So it's just
There's
funny.
No afterwards. After Queen. That's how Queen dies.
Right? No, I mean, no, they did. They were.
No, I'm just saying that's him.
It's just funny that ultimately this movie goes in the direction of deciding not to go after he dies. No, I think he has a mustache because he has a weird upper lip. I think that's why.
I mean, I just always assumed that he had the mustache to kind of hide his teeth.
There is a reason why he eventually develops the mustache. They don't explain it in the movie, but in real life, I remember looking it up once. I think it's to hide the teeth or to hide he has a cleft upper lip or something, but it's to hide something on his upper lip.
Yeah.
There was a specific reason why he has a mustache. Like I'm joking, but there actually is.
I can't imagine this with that Sacha Baron Cohen. I just can't.
I kind of can. The only reason why your brain would be like he can is because he can pull off a mustache. I just don't. It's funny. It's not. But to be fair, Rami Malek doesn't sing as Freddie Mercury in this. I think he's melded with a guy named, I think it's Mark Martin, I think is what his name is. But he's a really famous Freddie Mercury impersonator, and he sounds like just like him. It's kind of uncanny. But he doesn't sing. So I don't think... Sacha Baron Cohen...
Martel.
That's it, Mark Martel.
He's uncredited.
Yeah, he does. He doesn't do all of it, but I think he fills in, or he does half of it with someone else. But I don't think Sacha Baron Cohen could have done it vocally, but they would have just probably done a similar thing. Visually, man, Rami Malek sure looks an awful lot like him.
Yeah, that's my thing.
It's pretty impressive how much. It's not even just that he looks like him. It's the body language for Freddie Mercury. You have to get
mannerisms too.
Yeah, you have to. Yeah, it's the mannerisms. There's an interview I saw of him that was like, he had to have watched it. Because there are so many of his vocal mannerisms. And again, the performance mannerisms. Like I say, that final sequence at Live Aid is incredible. It's incredible how much it looks like the thing. Like, it looks like the performance. So, like, yeah, it's impressive. But just the rest of it is so blah.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I still think of the biopics I watched this week. This one's near the top.
That's completely valid. I'm not going to take that away from you. It's just because it's like you said, it's by the numbers, but those numbers are all right. Like,
there's a reason why those numbers exist.
A biopic. I don't think a biopic can elevate itself above just being a biopic. I can't think of a biopic that is highly elevated in terms of it's like, this is doing something to subvert the form. I just can't. I can't think of one that does that. I just can't. Maybe there's one. Hey, if you think that there's a biopic that subverts the tropes of the biopic genre, you let me know. And I'll watch it for the show. But I just don't think it exists. They are all, well, they're certainly not musical biopics. Maybe non-musical biopics are different, but musical biopics, they all have the same beats. They're all the same movie. Jordan, do you have anything else for Bohemian Rhapsody?
Nope, that's it.
So Jordan,
although I will say, sorry, it had a budget of between 50 to 55 million. It made 911 million.
It's the reason why Michael exists.
It was stupid popular.
Bunch of money.
And that's all I have to say. That's all I have to say about that one, Jordan.
So Jordan, I need to prove that I need a break, Jordan. I'm just gonna be real with you. I needed a break from the biopics. They were driving me crazy. My brain was soaked. So I need to put something in here that broke it up.
Your brain was cooked?
It was cooked. I couldn't do any more biopics. And honestly, this episode exists because I really wanted to watch this movie. And that movie is Band Slam. Have you not seen Band Slam?
I'm gonna need more than just a name.
That means that tells me that you haven't. If you've seen it, you've only seen it once. It's the one where it's Ali Michaela is in it, Vanessa Hudgens is in it, Lisa Kudrow's in it. Who else is in it that you know? I think that might be it. And Lisa Kudrow and the kid, the son, move to a new school, and he becomes friends with Ali Michaela, and they want to. She wants to form a new band, so that they can do a big band competition called Band Slam, which is basically like their Super Bowl.
I'm not convinced I've watched this.
Oh, really? Oh, cool. You should watch this. You would like this. This is exactly...
While you were describing it, I looked it up, and I don't recognize this.
Weirdly. So, okay, that's unfortunate, because I have to spoil... In order to get into the meat of this, I have to spoil a kind of a big twist in the middle. A reasonably big twist in the middle. But, so you know how occasionally when we watch those Disney Channel original movies, I say, this feels like it was an adult movie that was turned into a Disney Channel original movie? This is the opposite effect. This was a theatrical movie that went to theaters. It's described as a coming-of-age movie that feels like it was a Disney Channel original movie, and it got rejected for being too dark.
Interesting.
Because it's got Vanessa Hudgens in it. It's got Ali Michaela in it, who are both Disney Channel alum, and just a kid moves to high school coming of age movie. But yeah, this guy, he moves to this high school, become friends, and he's kind of got a crush on Ali Michaela, who is like a really confident senior who is like being friends with them or what have you. And like he's not the kind of guy that she would normally hang out with, and he's kind of got a thing with her. And in the meantime, he has met Vanessa Hudgens, who kind of has this kind of like, she has a stutter, so she's like a sardonic, very flatly toned way of speaking, like straight to the point. He gets paired with her for this home studies assignment, which is worth most of their grade, where they have to do a report on the other person about everything that they like or don't like, you know, that kind of cliche. And as the movie goes on, they become really close and develop a thing for each other. And at the beginning of the movie, at his original school, all the kids call the main kid Dewey, and you're not really sure why. And the Ali Michaela is with the lead singer of the band that's going to go to this basically battle of the bands. It's a movie about music. There's a battle of the bands, and he's trying to win her back because randomly out of nowhere, the previous year, she left the band, and broke up with him for like seemingly no reason. And so he kicked the other guys out of the band and brought in two new guys who are like experts, and now they've formed this new band, which they are naming the same thing as the old band. And the kid gets brought in to be their manager, because he's the whole bit is he's really into music, like super into music, and he's into David Bowie. And he's writing letters to David Bowie the whole movie, and that's kind of it's kind of a narrative framing device where he's writing letters to Bowie. So every time something happens in the story, he recaps it by writing a letter to Bowie. And so the guy tries to win Ali Michaela back, and she's not going for it. And during one of the attempts to win her back, he happens to be there, and so he decides to go and find out information about him or whatever, and he starts calling him Dewey, and the Ali Michaela kind of leaves the new band. There's a whole bunch of series of scenes where they're playing music. So like there's a point where she sings "I Want You to Want Me," and it's my favorite version of that song. But as they create this band, they bring in new members of it to kind of fill it out into like a big thing. Her dad dies, and she pulls away from everything, leaves the band, and he goes to see her and to be like, "Hey, we're here for you, what have you," and she reveals that when her dad became sick, she made like a bargain with God that if he got better, that she would be a better person. That her dad hated who she was when she was with the guy, so she broke up with him, and like she was nicer. She started a big part of the plot is they're volunteering taking care of kindergarten kids. She decided to do that, and she decided to be friends with the losers, basically everyone who is exactly opposite to who I was, is how she puts it. And it's kind of a dark twist. And so in order to get back at him, the guy finds out that he was called Dewey, calls him Dewey, and it's revealed that the reason why he's called Dewey, it's not Dewey like Dewey from
DuckTales.
Or I was gonna say Malcolm in the Middle, but it's DWI. And the reason why they call him Dewey is because his dad was a day drinker who got in a car and drove and killed a kid. And they sent the dad. If you're like, this is a major tone shift, yeah, welcome to this movie. The dad.
So Dewey, driving under impairment.
Driving while impaired. DWI.
DUI.
No. In this, it's DWI because DUI is Canadian.
Oh.
Yeah. And so they sent the
Same
dad.
thing.
It's the same thing. But they sent the dad to prison, and everyone in where they lived turned that vitriol onto him, and so they all call him Dewey, and they bully him. Not even just the kids, but the adults too, all bully and treat him like shit because his dad killed a kid, which just feels like, even by high school cruelty standards, feels needlessly cruel. And like, when I was watching this, I was like, this feels weird and specific. It reminded me of the Romeo and Juliet law from Transformers, weirdly, where I was like, this feels weird and specific. Like, this feels like somebody went through this or knew somebody who went through this whose dad killed somebody and got called Dewey and wrote this. Because this movie is very specifically written by one guy, and it's directed by the same guy who wrote it. And so it's just, this movie feels like whatever Disney executive he tried to sell this to got to that part and went, man, this is dark. Because that's dark. Like, even by the standards of regular high school cruelty, I would never blame a kid for his dad doing something. At least I can't picture a situation where even as a teenager, where I would do that. That feels fucked up.
It's pretty fucked.
Right? And so it gets to the big, whatever, what have you, band competition. And I don't like the ending of this. It ends with, obviously, the big competition. It gets to the point where, like, they're like, oh, Ally Michaela doesn't want to do this anymore. And so they convince Vanessa Hudgens to sing instead. And what's her face? Ally Michaela has written a song for her dad about her dad, and that's the song they've been practicing for this competition. And so she allows her to sing it for the competition, and there's no indication that this character has any interest in being a singer or a performer, like, at all. She's a reader. Her whole thing is she reads the whole movie. There's one scene which feels like it has been added in later, where he goes to her house and she watches a video of her singing a song, but that's kind of it. So I don't like the fact that she sings for Ally, because the whole movie's been Ally Michaela's been singing, and she's been dealing with her trauma with her music and what have you. And so it's just like she's hanging out with Lisa Kudrow at the end of the movie. She doesn't get to come up on stage and sing. And the movie ends with Vanessa Hudgens is in the band now and is the lead singer, and there's nothing that indicates that she's into singing, so it just kind of feels like it was a rewrite. It feels like a rewrite. Like, it feels like it was something that was changed later because they needed the drama of Ally Michaela leaving the band, but her coming back felt unearned. So that's why they had Vanessa Hudgens, but that also feels weird. Also, Lisa Kudrow is phenomenal in this movie. The scene I told you about where she tells Ally Michaela that about the dad and the killing the kid or whatever. She's like, yeah, I forget the main character's name, but he's like, the kid went to the kid's funeral and hugged the mom and said he was sorry and said that it was his fault. Will is like, that's what kind of kid Will is, and it's a heart-wrenching scene, just a devastating scene, and her performance is so good. I was like, Phoebe, what are you doing? This is good shit. God, I I don't want to add another thing to your list from this episode, but we'll find another excuse for you to watch it. In a couple weeks, you know what? In fact, 2 weeks from now, we're gonna do high school related movies. I'm gonna do Napoleon Dynamite. You should do this.
Remind me when that time comes, and
I
I
will.
probably will.
I will remind you. We'll revisit this. This is to be continued because this movie is well, it's sort of to be continued because I think this probably will end up being a YouTube video on its own. But I think this movie. I saw someone say this movie is severely underrated, and I agree. The fact that you haven't heard of it or seen it is I cannot believe I haven't recommended this movie to you before. I watched this with my ex-girlfriend years and years ago. Me and my ex-girlfriend watched this. And I fell in love with it the first time I watched it. I'm like, it's elevated Disney is what I would call it. It's like a better version of a Disney Channel original movie. Like it's not as good as like a actual like an adult kind of movie. Like this is very much for teens and for kids. But it's like it's better than like it's like a better version of a High School Musical. But like a better
Interesting.
version. Like if you were to take a High School Musical and make it into an actual movie with actual drama and actual acting that's actually good. It's like, oh yeah, Ally Michaela and Vanessa Hudgens, not so much Vanessa Hudgens, but Ally Michaela can actually act. Like she's good in this. It's quite surprising. But
There's
anyway.
a reason why she went on to have a career.
Yeah. She was pretty. I was impressed by this. Like I was impressed by this. But they definitely felt like at one point this was pitched to Disney. It has that vibe. Anyway, that's Band Slam. I thought for sure you had seen it.
Okay. Sorry, I had to do the big stretch.
Big stretch.
My second have seen, my last have seen. I didn't realize. So this movie is a spin-off, apparently, which I didn't realize. And that's Get Him to the Greek.
Yes, it's technically a spin-off of Forgetting Sarah Marshall.
Yes, it is. Because apparently Aldous Snow was a character from that movie.
Yeah, when he the bit on the airplane where he takes off the earphone and he goes, I fucked her. That's in reference to that's Sarah Marshall. You know, he shows up in that movie and he sings. I don't think he sings the song that he sings in this, but he sings a song in that called "Inside of You." I would like to be inside of you. Yes, this is the world's most canceled movie.
And yet I still like it.
I like it in spite of the people who are in it, not because of them.
I stand by what I said.
And it's unfortunate because the music is also good. I think the music is good.
I think the music is good.
I still have some of it on my soundtrack, even though I can't stand
Me
Russell Brand.
too.
I like to separate myself from it.
Too.
Separate the art from the artist, you know. I really like the song "Coming to America" because I think it's the breakdown's really funny. Number one, George Washington lost his son.
I'm always going to be a
He was
fan of
Jimmy
Stroke the
Carter.
Furry Wall.
Stroke the Furry. Did you know Hanson did I think I've mentioned this before. Did you know Hanson did a cover of it? Like
Cool.
you know, like bop doodly bop 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 doodly bop bop.
Oh, no, I didn't.
Yeah, it was on I think it was MySpace or Facebook. I found it randomly one day. Super random. That's random. Yes, that song's good. Motherfucker. Yeah, that really the one of the people who are canceled in that movie in retrospect that movie makes you feel uncomfortable about. Really, it's P. Diddy. Russell Brand is just a douche. Like all of his sex crimes, you're not really surprised. That he
You're right.
did them.
Sarah Marshall is in this. It's Kristen Bell.
Yeah,
Got
Kristen
it.
Bell. Yeah, that's Sarah Marshall. Yeah, she's the one. She's the one where he's watching the thing. She's a doctor.
Apparently there was also some other people that were in deleted scenes. Katy Perry was going to be in it.
Oh, really?
Yeah, she was in a deleted scene.
Yeah, it's not all great. There's some uncomfortable bits. The bit where Seth Rogen. Jonah Hill.
No.
The bit where Jonah Hill gets raped is uncomfortable.
The part where he's forced into having a threesome with Aldous Snow and his girlfriend is uncomfortable.
That's uncomfortable. I mean, is it more or less uncomfortable than when the girl sodomizes him?
Yes.
Exactly.
Made 40 million at the box office, budget was 40 million at the as a budget. Box office was 95.5 million.
It did all right. Yeah, it did all right.
It did all right.
It was weird that it being that like related to Sarah Marshall did a lot for that movie for some. But yeah, that was a major part of the marketing from the guys who brought you Forgetting Sarah Marshall.
And the director did Neighbors and Neighbors too.
Yes, he did. Nicholas Stoller, I believe.
And he co-wrote the screenplays for the films Fun with Dick and Jane, The Muppets, Yes Man,
Yeah.
and Muppets Most Wanted.
Nicholas Stoller, right?
Yep.
Yeah. He's Seth Rogen's writing partner.
That explains a lot of the humor in this. Then that kind of makes me shocked that the main character wasn't Seth Rogen.
Yeah. I wouldn't be surprised if at one point he offered it to him. It could easily be Seth Rogen. It could just as easily be Seth Rogen. But also,
absolutely,
like, I don't know.
Be.
Some of the
I think the reason one of the reasons why they didn't.
You're so smart, but you're actually really dumb. It's great. Love that line.
I think one of the reasons why it wouldn't work with Seth Rogen is because like the parts where when he wants to party, I just think Seth Rogen would want to join.
Yeah, I mean he could play. The thing is, if he could play neurotic straight man in a situation, he could play that character would be exactly the same if it were played by Seth Rogen.
Probably.
For the most part. I don't even think he's heavy in this, and I don't even think they do any fat jokes. Like to the movie's one solo credit. I
mean, that to me, that's the most unbelievable part of this movie. Is I was just the girl that Jonah Hill is with is just way too pretty for him.
Yeah, it's true.
But yeah,
she's too
I
hot
like
for
this
you.
movie.
She's too hot for you. I know.
This movie has a lot of cameos, though. Apparently, Tom Felton.
Is he? Actually, that's funny.
As themselves, I believe.
My favorite. I got so many favorite bits. I love the bit.
Right. No. Yeah. There's the part where he's at the party and he sees Tom Felton. Yeah. Right.
My favorite bit is where he goes to get was it heroin for
maybe you met my friend Mr. Heroin or something.
Do you think I'm just gonna sell you drugs?
I mean, yes, I do. I do know where he's right back through here. But God, come on, man.
Or he's like, yeah, that's one of my favorite T.J. Miller roles. Like, if you don't give me, I'm gonna stab you. And then just the next scene is just them in the car. Ah! Just dump him, man. It's great, super funny.
Why did he not dump me near the door?
You could have got me to the door. Funny, so funny, so good shit. Yeah, this is one of those you gotta separate. Occasionally, you gotta separate your art from your artists and just pretend that Russell Brand and Jonah Hill and P. Diddy are all dead. They're dead to us, Jordan. Professionally and artistically.
Or you just have to be ignorant and not be aware of what they may have done. Don't tell me. Don't tell me. Don't tell me. As long as I stay ignorant, I can enjoy this movie because I don't know what they did and I don't need to know.
Russell Brand did bad things to women.
God damn it, Justin! What did I just say?
Jonah Hill.
What did I just say?
Jonah Hill's a creepy weirdo and possessive and did bad things to girls.
I mean, that's surprising no one.
No, it absolutely doesn't surprise anyone. No, yeah, Russell Brand, when you find out the stuff he did, well, you mean the guy that plays weird sex pests, and it's like finding out that Andy Dick was a sex pest. You're like, what? The guy who plays weird sex pests in movie turned out to be a weird sex pest in real life? Who would have saw that coming?
I mean, I just sort of assumed that the character that he played in this is him.
Yeah, it is pretty much. Yeah, it's pretty much what he was like.
He's not acting.
It's like, oh yeah, no, yeah, what? He victimized people? What? That doesn't sound surprising. Jordan, is that it for Get Him to the Greek?
That is Get Him to the Greek, a movie which, contrary to the things that Justin just spoke up about, I still enjoy.
In spite of the people who are in it, not because of them. Jordan, are you familiar with a band called The Lonely Island?
Oh, he didn't freeze. Okay.
I was waiting for you to get. It was a call and response thing, Jordan.
Oh, I see.
Have you heard of a band called The Lonely Island, Jordan?
I do know The Lonely Island. They have that one. They have that one guy who was in Brooklyn Nine-Nine, and the rest are unimportant.
Yes, Jordan. They made a movie. They wrote and directed. 2 of them directed it. 3 of them wrote it. It's called Pop Star. Never Stop Popping. And it is it's a what's the word? Mockumentary movie about the artist known as Connor for Real. I really like.
That doesn't sound like a real name. I'm
This-
gonna need you to try again.
This movie is good. It's weird because the poster and I saw the guy say that the thing that kind of failed this movie was it was marketed as a parody of the Justin Bieber documentary Never Say Never, and it kind of is. It's kind of a parody of like Justin Bieber and that kind of pop star. There's someone else who it made me think of that it was making fun of. But he's one of those so the joke in the movie is that they're a profoundly I don't know if it's supposed to be the joke, but to me the joke is that they're a profoundly untalented band that in this fictional version of the universe, because it keeps doing talking head interviews with random celebrities who are like, so the Connor for Real guy, Connor, started off in a group called the Style Boys, who are just kind of a stand-in for the Lonely Island, and they write jokey sounding awful rap songs. Like one of his songs is "You fuck me like you fuck like we fucked Bin Laden." One of them is "Mona Lisa, you're an overrated piece of shit." There's another song about equal rights where he's like, I'm not, the main opener is, I'm not gay, but if I was, I would want equal rights. I'm not gay, but if I was, I would love who I'd like. And then every other lyric is just him being like, not gay. Muff dive, muscular men, not gay. And there's a bit at the end where it cuts to Ringo Starr, and he's like, he's rapping as though gay marriage isn't allowed. It's allowed now. There's a bit where he's getting married and Seal's there doing the ceremony and he gets attacked by wolves. He's like, how do you think I got these scars? And yeah, it's basically about he's about to launch his first album. He left the Style Boys, who are famous for doing this song called the Donkey Roll, which is just this awful dance song that's bad, but everyone's like, the Donkey Roll was this iconic moment that changed music forever. And he leaves to be a solo artist, and so he had his first album, which was crazy big, and now he's about to launch his second album, and he launches his second album and it tanks. He gets like negative reviews, everyone hates it, and
so he African childs it.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, it becomes his African child. You would like this movie. You'd think this movie was funny. If you like The Lonely Island like at all, you're gonna think this movie's funny. If you like Andy Samberg, it's all the same kind of humor in Brooklyn Nine-Nine. But it's because it's a parody of biopics. It follows kind of like, except for that he doesn't do drugs or cheat on his wife, but it does kind of follow that trajectory of he has a low point and he eventually he gets back together with the Style Boys by the end of it. And they do a big performance at the end of it where they perform with Michael Bolton. They do a song with Michael Bolton called "Incredible Thoughts" that is actually a good song.
I mean, so is Jack Sparrow.
Yes, it's similar to Jack Sparrow, in its like musical setup or what have you. What else was there about Pop Star Never Stop Popping? Yeah, this movie's another one that's underrated. I don't think enough people have seen it. It did not do very well. It kind of bombed, which is a shame because I think it's better than people give it credit for. Oh, there's someone else that it made me think of. It'll come back to me later after the podcast is over. Anyway, that is Pop Star Never Stop Popping. Pop pop, pop pop. I think that's it for the half scenes. I think we're trucking right along.
We're on
section,
the
Jordan.
home stretch, as it were.
As it were, Jordan.
So, my first have not seen is, funny enough, a movie where I have listened to the main song from this movie a lot, and I like it quite a bit. But I've never actually seen this movie before. Although I kind of have, in a way. But
it's based on the Odyssey.
I'm not there yet. I'm building up to something. Shut up! Anyways.
Ugh.
The movie that I watched is Oh Brother, Where Art Thou? And as Justin has spoiled, it's loosely based on the Odyssey.
Well, loosely based.
loosely.
What if the Odyssey were American and
Yeah,
took
you
place
know,
in Southern
very
American economy?
in a very loose form.
Not as loose as you think of it. It's got the Cyclops. I'm pretty sure
It's got three things.
Sirens.
One of which is the main character's name. The main leader of the group is called Ulysses, which is the Roman name for Odysseus.
Yes.
And then they've got sirens. They've got what I don't remember what the Cyclops was, but they've got a version of the Cyclops.
Yeah, it's John Goodman.
And that's it.
John Goodman is the Cyclops.
Okay, I guess I see it.
Because he's got the one eye and he's gigantic. He's the Cyclops.
Yeah. Anyway, those are the three things that make it based on the Odyssey. That just the general sense of Ulysses will do anything and everything to get back to his wife.
Trying to get back to his wife and his treasure, which we
The treasure, which ends up not being real.
Oh, that is true. And his Dapper Dan hair product.
Can't
forget the Dapper Dan hair product, Jordan. His hair wouldn't be the same without his Dapper Dan hair product.
Also, so I imagine my surprise when I watched this movie and the first thing that I see are George Clooney from Tomorrowland.
Yep.
Slash Batman.
Yep.
The dude from Transformers.
Yeah, John Turturro. Yep.
And Anger Management.
Yep.
And the dude from Holes or the dude from The Incredible Hulk.
Oh yeah, he is from Holes, isn't he? Yeah, I forgot about that. Yeah, he's Delmar.
He's Mr. Pendanski.
Yeah, I forget what the actor. I can never remember the actor's name. But yeah, you're right. He is. He's the third guy.
Tim Blake Nelson.
Tim Blake Nelson. That was it. Yes. I forgot about that. I forgot he was the third
I liked
guy.
This movie. I thought this movie was really good and really
it still has
fun.
one of my all-time favorite line deliveries of all time, which is the guy running down the thing like, "They's desegenated. They's desegenated. These boys is desegenated." Because he was a big old racist, Jordan.
I mean, what can be said about this movie? It's kind of the perfect length.
It is really the perfect length.
It's 107 minutes long.
Yep.
It had a budget of $26 million. It made a box office of $71.9 million.
And Lord help you if Man of Constant Sorrow isn't. Oh, that was it. The
Man of Constant Sorrow is probably the catchiest song that you'll hear.
You remember? You remember the version of Man of Constant Sorrow I had on my MP3 player for like ever that had that weird beat underneath it?
I think so.
That beat is a Tupac song.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So when I was watching the Tupac movie, I was like, hey, I think it was either Tupac or Bob Dylan. But anyway, I was like, hey, I recognize this beat. It's from a weird version of a song that I have for some reason. I didn't have the actual version.
Hilarious.
I don't know why I didn't have the actual version, but...
But yeah, so basically, the loose plot, the main guy is stuck on a chain gang, so he lies to his two people so that he can try and get back to his wife.
And get his Dapper Dan hair product.
They have to go through many a challenge, and it is a loose adaptation of the Odyssey. If you know the Odyssey, you get the point.
Yes, they're trying to find their way back home.
Also, there's a part where Pete and Delmar get baptized, and they're like, "We're cleansed of our sins," and I'm like, "Oh, it's cute."
It's cute. But
yeah, I like A Man of Constant Sorrow.
I do. That's the only reason why I vote.
I am a man.
Only reason why I've seen that movie.
Constant sorrow.
I like that song.
There was one of these, and I don't remember. There was one of these where I had seen that one of the people, a different actor, had been considered for it, but I think we've already passed the movie that was. But it was whichever movie it was John Travolta. Oh, I think it was the Prince movie. They wanted, or something like that, where it was like the studio people didn't want whichever the main person was, they didn't want it to be that person, and they wanted it to be the name that I said.
I understand.
That's it for this movie, by the way. That's Oh Brother, Where Art Thou?
Oh brother, where art thou?
It's a good movie.
I'm running
it's on
down
Disney
the
Plus.
Street.
You people should check it out. Do it.
Okay.
Do it.
Jordan.
Do it.
Of course, we have to go back to the biopics.
Do it.
do it. We have to go back to the biopics one final time before this week ends to talk about
Me too.
The Runaways. Now, Jordan, you may not know The Runaways by name, but you may know their parts individually, and at least one of their songs. Jordan, you know the song Cherry Bomb?
Cherry bomb.
Yeah, that...
Hello, mommy. Hello, daddy.
Cherry Bomb! Yeah, that's The Runaways. They're the ones who sang that song.
Oh.
And one of their members is... you may not know her by... You know Joan Jett and the Blackhearts? No. I don't give a damn about my bad reputation.
Okay,
Or,
yeah.
I love rock and roll.
Yeah.
Her. She was in The Runaways first. That's the band she was in first before she became Joan Jett and the Blackhearts. This movie is about The Runaways. And this movie is interesting because it is biographical, and it's based on the book that one of the lead girls wrote. So it's reasonably accurate, but it's less concerned with accuracy and more concerned about being about the relationship between the people. It makes their manager, who's played by Michael Shannon, look like an absolute stark raving lunatic. And it kind of sounds like he was maybe a little bit of a stark raving lunatic, but same dealio. It's all your tropes of a biopic movie. They start off as nobodies, they work their way up, they eventually become famous, and the only difference is they don't do the bit where they get back together. They break up, and it's weird. They break up, and in real life, the girl Cherry Curie went on to become successful, like a successful singer, and did other projects. But this movie just kind of implies that she went back to being a normal person, but she didn't. While Joan Jett went on to be like a famous musician and do Bad Reputation, all that stuff. But it does the whole spiel, the whole deal. They do drugs, they party, they fuck. But
They don't just fuck, Justin. They fuck.
So, Jordan, you're gonna feel real weird about the fact that you just said that, because they're 15.
Oh no! Wow, you buried the lead there, man.
Yeah, I know. I did that on purpose because they're 15. Jordan, the whole movie has this exceptionally weird air to it because it constantly reminds you that they're 15. There's multiple scenes of characters be like, yeah, but we're 15. There's a bit at the end when it's Kristen Stewart and Dakota Fanning, by the way. But there's a bit. Kristen Stewart is Joan Jett, and she actually doesn't. If she's doing the singing, which according to Wikipedia she is, they apparently learned how to sing and play their instruments. She sounds just like Joan Jett. It's kind of impressive, but there's a bit at the end where she's now an adult and she's being interviewed at the end. And they're like, oh, yeah, we guys were in The Runaways. Like, yeah, we were so young. We're 15. And there's a bit, and they're like 15. I'm like, okay, so maybe in the later bits of the movies, they're adults. And I looked it up, and no. The band broke up when they were 18. So, no, 17. It broke up when they were 17. So at their oldest in this movie, they're 16. There's a bit in this movie where Dakota Fanning is in a room with a guy, and they're trying to get her attention. And it cuts, and you see a guy, and the implication is that they just had sex. And it's fucking weird. It's weird. There's so many scenes of them, just people plying them with drugs. The manager refers to them as jail bait. There's uncomfortable scenes of the one girl dressing up way too provocatively, and it gave me that or it not gave me that feeling, but it reminded me of the thing I said last week, which is like, it's funny, people are like, I've seen people say that we treat teenagers too much like adults in movies. And I completely disagree with that now, because we used to do that. Like there was this time, and like the movie never makes the fact that they're 15 and they're doing this shit an issue. It treats it like matter of fact, because I suppose they would have back then. But we definitely, like, the phrase young adult. I know the phrase young adult makes some people cringe. But there was some truth to that, where there was a point where if you were 15 or 16, you were just an adult. You were an adult. You got to do adult things. We treated you like adult. Like, it didn't matter if the law didn't keep up with that, but you were an adult. And then we had a point where we were like, no, the fact that Jennifer Lawrence wants to date a legal adult who is 19 is weird because he's a child. Like
She's a child.
No, he's a child in that movie. They're like he's 19. He's a child. So it's just
Oh.
it's weird to me. Not weird, but it's just interesting how we do now. I look at her and you keep telling me she's 15 and I'm like she's a child. The stuff she's doing in this movie is uncomfortable because she's a child. And it's just interesting how that has changed. I don't think of her as a young adult. I think of her as a child. And that is a
kid.
That and I don't know. Is that have we? I said this when I talked about that fucking Jennifer Lawrence movie where I'm like we are infantilizing adults, and is that part of that where like we have infantilized teenagers where it's like we've overcorrected, and we just see them as literal children where they're
The argument could be made.
we don't treat them as a middle ground of like they are basically adults but they still are kids but they aren't completely kids because I just constantly all the time it annoys me when you get people being like oh you got a 19-year-old person who can legally do anything they want but we're going to treat them as though they're like in Canada you can drink, you can buy a house, you can do this, we're going to treat them like they're a child. But like the 60s and 70s felt that way about 16 and 15-year-olds where they're like, yeah, he keeps calling them jailbait. It's gross. He's telling them to appeal to adults, so you want to make the guys want to fuck you. It's like super weird. It's so weird, and it taints what is otherwise kind of an entertaining movie, I guess. Like I do like The Runaways. I like Joan Jett. I like their music. So even if I don't recognize the music, I at least like it. It was weird because there was a point where I was like, it also implies that they wrote Cherry Bomb for Cherry, the other lead singer, to audition for the band. And when she's singing it, she's kind of a bad singer. And I was like, oh, is Dakota Fanning just like a bad singer? But then later in the movie, she sings really well. It was very confusing. But yeah, that's The Runaways. It was weird. It was a weird time. I was uncomfortable for a lot of it. That's it. I got one left. You get to tell me if Michael's any good.
Well, I don't know.
You're gonna say it depends
So
on
for
what you
me-
want out of it. That's what you're gonna say.
Yeah, well, I mean, to me, this kind of just falls into the same, and you're probably not going to be shocked by this, but this falls into the same kind of category of Bohemian Rhapsody, where there's check boxes that it's definitely you could probably play bingo with this one too, but the big difference between like this and like when I watched the
can't
Bob
imagine
Marley One Love one is I like the music here,
Fair.
right?
I was
So
gonna
like
say,
the scenes where
can't
it just
imagine he
devolves
did,
to the scenes where it just devolves to him like writing the music or him performing the songs. I like the songs, so
Yeah.
I don't have a problem with it,
I was gonna
right?
say I can't imagine he cheats on his wife or does drugs though.
No,
No, I didn't think so.
I don't think so.
No, I didn't think so. I know that he eventually develops a
They
drug problem, but
they do the part where his because obviously he's in incredible amounts of pain.
yeah,
I could see how one could develop a drug
yeah.
from that.
That's how he wound
But,
up. That's how he died. He died of a propofol overdose, and that was because of the painkillers he did from the setting his hair on fire.
Yeah, the setting the hair thing is in this movie.
Yeah, it's at the end though, isn't it?
The last half an hour-ish,
Yeah, that's what I thought.
I think.
They don't
give or
do any
take.
of the juicy shit. That I've heard.
It ends with him. He's just starting the Bad World Tour.
Do you get to see
From the
white Michael
1980s.
Jackson in this?
No, but they do start having like in when he's performing with his brothers for the last time. He's got a glove on.
So this ends around the 100th anniversary of Motown performance.
The Bad World Tour in the
Okay.
late 1980s.
Because there was a point in real life where it was like the first time they had performed. It's a very iconic clip of I think it was like the Motown whatever anniversary.
The one that he did with his brothers was supposed to be their I think they called it the Victory Tour.
Okay. I just know that there's a period where he came back and he's in that in between being full white Michael Jackson and still kind of black Michael Jackson, and it's really fun because they do the spin and there's a point where he big deal, he came back, so I guess this ends around that time, that period.
All I know is that adult him is played by his nephew Jafar
Yes, it is.
Jackson, and Kid him is played by Giuliano Valdi.
But he never gets to full white Michael Jackson, is what you're saying.
No,
No, interesting. That's interesting.
you don't see him
Do you
as
think
white
because they
at any
keep
point.
they keep
Like
talking,
he's wearing the glove, but like he doesn't take off the glove. You don't see a white hand or anything. Like
interesting.
he's
when
still
I say,
just.
when I say white Michael Jackson though, I mean like later in life with the nose and the way he looked when he died.
Well, I mean, he gets a nose job in this movie.
Oh,
so
okay, interesting. So he gets as
he
far
does
as
that.
that.
He does that pretty early on.
Oh, interesting. Because yeah, when he did, they don't really care about us. He was, or like when he's in Men in Black 2. To me, that's white Michael Jackson. Like that's,
Yeah, no, he doesn't.
yeah.
He doesn't look. He doesn't
He
look like
He
that.
doesn't get that far. Okay, because there is an in between period where he's not quite black. He still has his normal nose and chin. He's not quite, or no, he still has his normal chin, but there's a period in like the '90s or whatever where he's like mid transitioning between being black Michael Jackson from the '80s and like white Michael Jackson of the 2000s.
I feel like what you're saying is offensive. By the way,
I don't know how else to describe it. That's what it's like. You want me to call him Freak Michael Jackson? You know, when he looked all weird.
I get what you're saying. I just mean the implication of white versus he would say he was always black.
Yeah,
so.
yeah, no, I know what you mean. But you get my point. It's just,
I do.
It's just a differentiated different era of Michael Jackson.
Golden era. I would describe it as golden era versus silver era or something like that. But I get what your point is.
But like, do you think though if they made it, because they keep talking about doing a sequel to this, which there's no way you could do a sequel to this. But do you think that they would put him in prosthetics? The guy who's playing him currently, to make him.
I know what you mean. Maybe to make it feel more like him.
Would it be offensive if he did?
Maybe. I don't know. I'm not the right person to ask.
That's my thing. It's like I don't think that they could do late in life Michael, because like what would be interesting to explore his death.
I think if you did,
his relationship to Dr. Murray. And
I think if you did, you maybe would have to like what you could do, artistically, what you could do is you could have like one scene. For example, one scene where like he's looking at himself in the mirror and like it's like not a real mirror in reality, but like in the movie it's a mirror, and on the one side of the glass you see him as he is in this movie.
All right.
And then on the other side you have like played by a completely different actor. You have like what he looks like after it's all happened, and then that's the only time you see that version of him, and the rest of the movie it's just
you get away with
that's how he sees himself.
I think you're gonna have to find a way to make him look like he does, because like that's the thing is like a lot of people took.
I'm just saying artistically, I think that's the only way you could do it.
Yeah, I think you have to either you put him in prosthetics or you hire someone who you can maybe with makeup look like it, but I think you have to make him look the way he becomes if you're gonna do a sequel to this.
I agree, but I said,
to be fair, he was supposed to be in this.
The way that I said is the only way I think that you could adequately sidestep it.
Sensitively do it, yeah, but they would never. Yeah.
No, they would never do it that way. But I'm just saying.
The thing is,
you asked me, like how would then that's one way you could do it.
But what was I gonna say? There's so much shit in his later life that is controversial or interesting or like you don't.
Yeah, but this one is also like made by the family or whatever, so they don't want to touch on that.
But you
stuff.
don't have to do the Neverland stuff. You don't have to do the child course. I know that people.
I mean, they
want
kind
them
of loosely touch on that a little bit in this, where after the, at least in my opinion, it feels like it is because like it sounds crazy, but like after he has the whole burning of the hair thing or whatever, there's a part in this movie where he's in the hospital with I don't remember who it is, but somebody, and he starts talking like he's like, I understand now. My purpose is greater than da 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 da. My purpose is to put good out on this earth, and and like he's talking again. To me, he sounds crazy.
Oh, interesting. So that's how he became the weird version of Michael Jackson. That's the origin.
That's
of that?
kind of what this movie seems to like be implying.
But like you've got shit like again, in terms of his life that like kind of went off the rails. Like you've got him dangling the kid over the balcony. You get his relationship to Dr. Murray. Like you could do a sequel to this, skip over all of the child molestation stuff. Ooh, that sounds bad. But you could just skip over that and just make the next one have it be. You could do an hour and a half, 2 hour movie of its.
You could, but you'd have a lot of people who are upset.
Do a where it's based on the last like year or two of his life and make it be about the This Is Us era, and then you can still have it be a musical. You can have musical numbers, and then you can do flashbacks to earlier eras, and it could be like I say, like a not an Orson Welles, but oh my gosh, what's the word? Orson Welles played the character Rosebud.
Casablanca?
Not Casablanca.
Opum? Magnum Opum?
Oh my god. That's gonna bug me now. Rosebud. Famous Orson Welles movie. Greatest movie of all time.
Casablanca?
Not Casablanca. So you already said Casablanca. Now I need to Google this because it's gonna bug me. Orson Welles. It's like right there too. I can feel it. Citizen Kane. Do a Citizen Kane thing where it's like the framing device is him in the last like years of his life with Dr. Murray. Because his relationship to Dr. Murray. Dr. Murray is the guy who gave him the propofol and who ultimately, legally speaking, killed him. Not enough has been spoken of about how that happened and his abuse of Michael Jackson and their relationship, because it gets so overshadowed by, rightfully so, about any potential misgivings about children. But like that relationship was fucked, and that would be an interesting movie, but it wouldn't be fun. Like that's the thing is like, the rest of his life isn't fun. It isn't full of fun and whimsy. He's got at best, he's got at best like 10 years left, 5 years left from that.
I mean,
point.
I would argue most of his life wasn't fun after watching this.
But more, I mean, like musically speaking, where if you're gonna do a musical in terms of performance or musical numbers, he doesn't really have any. He's got They Don't Care About Us, and I think at that point,
this pretty much covers the hits.
Do they do They Don't Care About Us in this one?
I don't know about that. But
I don't think they do anything out from black and white. I'm positive they don't do anything from black and white.
Yeah, but who cares about black or white? That's not where most of the hits are.
No, but that's the era. No, he had a ton of hits from black and white. Black and white was a huge hit. But like
I don't know that one. I know Billie Jean and I know all the ones that were in this movie.
Yeah, he has an album that comes after this. Like all I want to say is that they don't really care about us. Or there's there's a bunch of songs from this era, but there's nothing. You're right. There's nothing that's as big or larger than life as Thriller post this movie. So like, if you're gonna do a sequel to this and make it a musical, he doesn't really have a ton of triumphant moments from this moment on, in my opinion. None that I can think of anyway. Like all of the shit is from the Thriller era. Yeah. I suspect it's the kind of movie where if you want to see a faithfully recreated version of the Thriller music video, then that's going to be for you. And there are people who did that, and this movie made a shit ton of money. But like, what are you going to do for the next one? How do you make a sequel to this? Like,
I don't know, but looking at this box office, they will.
Oh, it's huge. They're talking about it. But like, again,
it had a budget between 155 to 200 million.
They cut out
its box office was 977.4 million.
I saw a bunch of people who said it feels like half a movie, and that's because it is half a movie, because they cut out apparently a huge. We talked about it multiple times on the show about how they changed the second and third act because it involved his victims, so they rewrote huge chunks of it. So like, the next movie is all that. It's all of his controversies because he got controversial from this point on. So like, what are you gonna do, another jukebox musical, and in between it he's in court for child molestation charges? Like, what do you do for a sequel? Like, what do you do for a second one? Like, again,
I don't know about
even more than this one, it will not make anyone happy. Like, even more than this one did, and this one already didn't make people happy. Like, nobody was happy about this movie. Like the only people who were happy about this movie were die hard Michael Jackson fans who were like overly forgiving.
I mean, I just find it funny that there was an end card or whatever, which just says
Michael Jackson will return.
his story continues.
Yeah, of course it does. Of
You
course
know,
it does.
both being like, oh, maybe there's a sequel, and also just his life kept going on.
But like also a lot of these biopics are not like his is the one where we're really sensitive about him looking like a bad person for some reason. And I saw a lot of people,
Yeah, because even though there was the suspicion and all that of him being a pedophile, he still has a really large fan base. So like
Well,
they don't want to piss off the people that don't believe that he did that.
it's truly remarkable about how there is currently a generation of kids like when we were kids. To me, Donald Trump is kind of similar in the way that when we were kids, it was culturally understood that he touched them kids. Like it was
Michael Jackson, you mean?
Yeah, Michael Jackson, he touched them kids. It was just known. It was just a thing that was culturally accepted. Every comedy had a joke about Scary Movie. Every movie had a joke about Michael Jackson touching kids. So, South Park. Joke about Michael Jackson touching kids. Like it was just a widely accepted thing. And there's an entire generation of kids who, because that's not been there. They don't think that. All they know is the music, and all they know is the good part of his character. They don't know the all that stuff because it hasn't been. It's not as in his face as their face as it was for us, and I find that fascinating.
Yeah. So I'm sure you'll watch this at some point.
It wasn't bad, is what you're saying, but it wasn't good.
I don't know. Again, it depends. Do you
like watching Coleman Domingo beat the crap out of some kids for?
It didn't necessarily pass the phone test, but there's also large swaths of it where they're just doing thriller.
Yeah, no, fair enough. Yeah, it's one of those ones where
I like
bad
thriller,
because he had
I like
dad.
the music.
Like yeah.
I don't even know that. I don't even know that I would necessarily say that this one makes him look like the bad guy. It mostly just his dad is. This movie has a clear cut villain, and
no, I was gonna say no. This movie looks like it makes Michael look like a victim.
Well, yeah, him and his siblings and his family,
and it uses the fact that he was a victim to like attempt to excuse later behavior. Well, but it doesn't because it cuts out all the controversial shit.
This really just. I mean, I know it's biographical, but I would almost. I don't know how to put this into words. It is based on a real person, but
based on a real person is what you want to say.
Based on a real person.
Based on a real person. Really emphasize the based on. Yes, I get what you mean.
Yeah.
Yes, I totally get what you mean. Yeah.
Because this feels like a movie version of Michael
with all
Michael
the
Jackson.
drama and all the edges and everything that made him human stripped away. It just turns him into a
sanded, not stripped away necessarily, but rounded over.
Sanded, yeah. That's one of the things I appreciate about Ray. Was always like, no, that movie makes it very clear Ray Charles was a bad guy. He was not a nice guy. Like, I'd much rather that. I'd much rather a movie approach these people honestly and be like, no, he was a guy. He was a human who had human wants and desires and selfish impulses. Instead of being like, yeah, he's just a dancing puppet in a suit that just makes pretty sounding music. It's boring. It's not interesting.
But I don't know. Maybe you'll have different feelings about
Perhaps.
it.
It's
That's
hard.
Michael.
It's hard because you're right. When you like the music, you tend to look past the thing's faults. When you're like, oh yeah, I like Thriller. My last thing, the last thing of the week. So this is an example of I didn't care for the music of this. This was not my kind of music. This is Dreamgirls, starring Jennifer Lawrence, Beyonce, Jamie Foxx. I don't know who the third girl is. I did not recognize her name, and I can't remember it. And they had the name. Then the Wikipedia article had the name for what it was, but basically, it's based on real events, and a lot of the real events did happen, but the names have been changed. So the main group in this is the Dreamettes. Initially, they start off as the Dreamettes, and then they get changed into the Dreams. And they're based on a lady group called the Supremes, and Jamie Foxx's character is based on a real guy, but his name is different. He eventually forms a label called the Rainbow Label, and this is where I learned. I thought Motown was a type of music, but it turns out it was a music label.
That makes sense.
Yeah, and so there's a bit in this where not the Jackson 5 shows up. That's what I've called them, because it's a group where it's the Jackson 5. Like, there's a bit where they're singing a song, and it's the Jackson 5 complete with Michael Jackson, but they don't call them the Jackson 5. And they sing a song that sounds like "I'll Be There," but the lyrics just devolve to her going like, "Girl, girl, I love you, girl, girl, I love you, girl." And it's like, this musical really has a thing to say about the Jackson 5, apparently. And I really like this movie. Like, I really liked it because it starts off with their performing in clubs and on stages and whatever, and the music begins as being diegetic. It starts off as being their musical, like their musical performances, and as the movie goes on, it's kind of like a horseshoe where in the middle all the music becomes non-diegetic. So there's a song they sing where it's Jennifer Hudson is storming out and quitting the band, or no, they're firing her and they're kicking her out of the band, and it's them arguing in like a meeting, but it's being presented as a fantasy song sequence, and it's the best song in the musical. And then as the movie goes on, the musical numbers continue to be non-diegetic until the end, when it becomes a performance again, and the musical numbers become diegetic again. And I really like that. That was a really cool trajectory, and really creative and really fun. Jennifer Lawrence is quite phenomenal in this. I think she either got nominated or won an Oscar for this. But this is like, she just won American Idol and is still kind of like green. She's really good at this. Beyonce, it's like, I was trying to think of what she had done at this point. This came out in 2004. So I think, or 2006, between 2004 and 2006. And she had only done Austin Powers. No, I think she had only done Austin Powers at this point. Like, she'd just been in Austin Powers, and so she's like really good. Jamie Foxx also really good. There's one of the actors. It was driving me crazy. I'm like, why do I recognize him? Looked him up. He's he was in Fat Albert. I don't know if you know the character's name, but he's the guy who wore the blue sweater.
Oh, the second in command.
Yeah. Did you know that his name in the show is Little Bill, and he's supposed to be Bill Cosby?
I did not know that.
I didn't know that either. But another thing that blew my mind is he's the Green Ranger. He's the Green Ranger from Lightspeed Rescue.
Huh.
He did
Okay.
Lightspeed Rescue is the first thing he did ever in 2000. First thing he ever did, and he got Fat Albert. He did Fat Albert after this, and then he did this after that. It blew my mind. I was like, holy shit, it's the Green Ranger. The Green Ranger can sing. Eddie Murphy is also in this, and honestly, it's the first moment in my life I've been, Eddie Murphy's a good actor. His emotional range in this is phenomenal. There's a bit, and I felt really bad, where he starts off as the lead performer, and the Dreamettes back him up, and then as the movie goes on, the Dreamettes get more popular and they take over, and he keeps trying to like get back on top, and Jamie Foxx is a scumbag who's keeping him down, and he does this performance which is supposed to be like a birthday performance for Jamie Foxx, and it devolves to him doing this like kind of cornball goofball performance where he sings this like improvised song and his pants fall down at the end of it, and Jamie Foxx is like, dude, that was really embarrassing, and he fires him, and he has this look where he's standing off stage watching him, and the expression on his face is like heartbreaking. And I said as a joke, I was like, oh, and then Eddie Murphy goes and kills himself, and then the next scene he killed himself.
Oh, that's dark.
And I felt really bad. I was like, oh, that was bad. I shouldn't have done that. Oh, that was. He dies of a heroin overdose, and it's really sad. It's a really haunting performance. I'm like, Eddie Murphy, where's this? Like, where's your like Adam Sandler style dramatic renaissance where you do it? Unless there are dramatic Eddie Murphy roles that I don't know of, but like, I was impressed. I was like, damn, this is good shit. Like I say, the music doesn't really. I'm not a big Motown jazz. Some of it I like. Like it does more for me than gangster rap does, but it just overall it's just not. But the number one thing that kind of got me with this, that kind of bugged me when I was watching it was, I don't know how else to put it, other than when I was watching it, just the dialogue and the way the characters were speaking, I was like, a black person didn't write this. And then I went and looked at, sure enough, it was created and written by a very white man. And
yeah, of course.
And I'm like, this is a story about black artists, about a black label, and a very important time in black music. Why are there no black creatives involved in this? Like, there should be black creatives involved in this, apart from the artists. And it's just like, yeah, I don't know. It just felt very, very milquetoast and sanitized. And in a way that's like, yeah, not that I think Dreamgirls needs more edge, but just definitely in the creative side, it needed more black people involved in it. But it was a nice way to end my week. It was like, oh, yeah, this isn't about anybody. This doesn't have anything. It's just a fun little... It reminded me a lot of Hairspray, but like, quite honestly. Where it's like, it's just a fun musical. That and like I say, the drama is good. There's another bit I wanted to say about it, but Dreamgirls. Nope, nothing's coming to mind. It's gonna be one of those moments where I think of what I wanted to say afterwards. Was there someone else in this that? No, the Green Ranger. Oh yeah, at one point John Krasinski shows up. Very strange. John Krasinski and John Lithgow show up. Very strange. He's got like a really greasy mullet. I think that's it. That's Dreamgirls. Dreamgirls. And that's it for musicians, everybody. We made it right at the end. We did it. Jordan already knows what's coming next week, but you all don't. And next week is a little topic that Jordan names, Do You Believe in Magic?
Oh, yeah, right.
In a young girl's heart. And so anything that involves magic, whether that's stage magic, wizardry magic, warlock magic, someone's got to do magic.
Magic.
Some kind of magic. I'm probably going to err on the stage.
And no metaphorical magic of nature.
No. I've got at least 4.
Unless it's like an actual fairy casting magic in nature.
Me and Jordan are going to probably share Vox Machina season 4.
Heck yeah, we are.
We're going to probably share that. I'm going to watch Now You Three Me. And there's a movie called Penn and Teller Get Killed that I want to watch. And I'm going to watch The Prestige and The Illusionist. Those are at least some of the ones we're going to talk about next week. Magic. Joe, where can the people find you?
I do Minecraft Mondays. On Mondays, I'm on Twitch, and my account is at Gore187. And when I'm not doing that, I'm also sometimes here. Sometimes I'm here talking with you about various movies based around different subjects, and sometimes they're good, sometimes they're bad. My good friend Justin, he told me about a movie once, and it ended up being really bad.
Why are you doing this?
But
this podcast is already an eternity long.
Justin, it's your turn to take over now, Justin.
You can find me on TikTok. It's just Spurr of the Moment P for the show. Me, Justin Spurr. I'm on TikTok. You can email the show. It's justinsbusiness@gmail.com for any reason. So if you just want to say hi, you can leave a comment. We're 10 subscribers away. Subscribe. Check out Wild Education and all they have to offer with Wild Education. Check out the Final Frontier. They're gonna be at a convention. That's pretty cool. Hit subscribe. The boxes will pop up or will have popped up at some point. Hit subscribe. We put new videos out 7 days a week, every single day, and a podcast on Sunday, and shorts multiple times a day, just all day, content every day. Give us that sweet, sweet watch time. If you want to see a random video that YouTube thinks you're going to enjoy, click the box on the right. Like this video. Likes help a lot. And we'll see you all next week. Have a good day, everybody. Bye!